them.
Yeah.
And they've got the tiebreaker with Arizona.
Because I ran the simulator today.
Excuse me, they've got the tiebreaker with Iowa State.
Yeah.
And if they lose one, even the tiebreaker still goes to the Arizona series. They went 1-1. Iowa State went 0-1.
Yep.
Therefore, Kansas advances.
Yeah. Even if Kansas wins tonight, even if they lose to K-State, which they're not going to, they're the 4 seed. So a dub tonight, and the Hawks get the double bye.
Yeah, because Central Florida has 7 losses, so they can't get into a 3-way tie or anything like that. So
last night,
Kansas wins one more game, so they win tonight. The K-State game becomes irrelevant.
Yep.
For their seeding in the Big 12, does not become irrelevant for their seeding. It would not be a good loss to have on your tournament resume. In fact, a loss at ASU is going to bump up that to, I don't know, quadrant 3, quadrant 2. I don't know where that would be considered because it's on the road. The K-State loss would probably knock them from a 3 to a 4. Don't you think?
Yes.
I can't think of a worse
loss. They're right on the edge
of
the 3. They're right on the edge of the 3s.
Spoke to a Cat fan today who said to me, there's a lot to play for this Cat team. I can't wait to get down to the Big 12. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what he said. I'm joking. He's like,
huge.
He's like, really, for me, if we could just call it off right now, I'd be happy. That's actually what he said.
I don't want to. There have been teams. There was a Chiefs team. This has been more than 10 years ago. But I remember at the end, I'm like, I'm so glad this team is done. I've never wanted the season to end.
I would call
it 2012.
I would call it what they were rolling out in a yard cart at the end of last year was kind of on that road. You weren't. Yeah. Were you all giddy to see Chris Oladokin?
No. I was wanting them to lose. That's not usually a bad sign for the team. But I remember 2012. It was just like, oh, criminy. Or there was one year they were playing the Falcons. I'm like, don't screw this up and win. Let's just end this season. And they did. I'm like, thank you.
Oh.
It was odd.
I want to get my Sundays of happiness back.
Our opening segments of pregame shows with Bo Richter was just like, man, what can they do today? Likely nothing.
Yeah, nothing. So, yeah. It didn't take long. It didn't take long to get us there. No, but let's talk about, what is at stake in these games tonight. For Kansas, it really is just win one, get to the double bye. You need to win both to try to protect yourself for a 3 seed. A loss to either one of these teams would mean you'd have some work to do in the Big 12 to secure a 3 seed. But I do think getting the double bye is important. Although a lot of times the team that plays that one game, is better.
If you win.
Well, if you don't get to play another, it's not that one game. You haven't played that one game because you didn't advance to the next round.
Right. But what would you rather be, the team has a better shot of winning the second game if you win the first game, or the team that's already in the second game?
So, here, I'm all for hypotheticals, but are you saying Arizona State is going to come to Kansas City and beat Iowa State in their second game in 2 nights?
No.
No, so I don't see the hypothetical coming through. You're talking about you're talking about an Oklahoma State right now, the way it stacks, an Oklahoma State or an Arizona State or a Colorado pulling the upset on Kansas or Iowa State if they don't get the double bye.
Yeah, if you're the 5 or the 6, you feel pretty good. If you're the 8 or the 7, then a team coming in to play you, and right now TCU has the 7.
Well, I don't think you want any part of Cincinnati. I mean, I did point out that I think the Bearcats are somewhat of a paper tiger right now because most of their wins are against bottom feeders. Mm-hmm. They've got one good win against Kansas, and it's a really good win. And they've got a decent win against, I think it's Central Florida. But otherwise, they beat up on the lower end. They're kind of how bad the record was somewhat schedule-driven early, and now they're taking advantage of the lesser part of the schedule. So I do think the Bearcats are going to play their way. I think they're going to win. I think they're expected to win both of their remaining games, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double-check this. I'll know here in a second. Because they come in at 44 now.
They are favored, yeah.
In both of them?
BYU and TCU.
Yeah, Ken Palm has them.
Home for BYU and at TCU.
No, Ken Palm has them. Ken Palm has them losing both.
Oh, okay.
48 and 39%.
Yeah, okay. Well, then that's rough.
But I think BYU is not what they were.
Yeah.
And TCU is just TCU. Both of them are close, 76-75 and 69-66. They've got both of them. So, if they would finish that off, they're going to come into Kansas City, even if they go 1-1, they're going to come into Kansas City going a couple of wins here, and we're at least got a reason to watch the selection show. So that's the one team I don't think you want to play.
Right.
You know, that's down there towards the bottom, and we'll see where they end up finishing off. But, yeah, Kansas is playing to maintain the double bye. Had Iowa State won, it would have been a little bit more, although I'd have felt like, well, with Arizona State being the last game on Iowa State's schedule, it's kind of a lost cause. But now you just need to maintain and get the double bye. That's a lot to play for. But Missouri, even more so, they currently hold the double bye.
Yeah.
And could advance all the way up to the 3 seed.
Yeah, if they win out, they not only do they get the double bye, but they leapfrog Arkansas and take on the 3, which would be good. Cause
No, they don't take on the 3. They would be the 3.
I'm sorry, they would become the 3. And they would, which would be nice because then you avoid having to play Florida. If you play Florida in Nashville, it's going to be for the SEC championship.
Yeah, which is a pretty good spot.
Which is a great spot.
Like right now, if they would just win out, get to Arkansas, everything else maintains where it currently is, you'd be looking at Kentucky, possibly Vanderbilt or A&M as your first game. Mm-hmm. And then that one would get you to a game against Alabama, and then you'd have Florida.
Yeah.
But I would, I don't know that there's much difference. I mean, is there any difference really in your mind? I do think Florida's the best. I do think Alabama's second best. But and I would say Arkansas.
As big a gap as it is in the Big 12.
I would say Arkansas is third.
Yeah.
But Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, A&M, I think that's where the line stops. I know Texas has got the same record. Mm-hmm. And maybe not even A&M, maybe just down through Vanderbilt. Aren't they all kind of the same? Maybe you could go down through Texas and say those are all pretty much the same school.
Yeah, I would agree.
But they'll all be tough games. They're all a losable game. But, yeah, I think there's more at stake for Missouri right now. Just to keep the momentum rolling, to keep the confidence, and they've got a tougher game. They're a dog at Oklahoma. So, this will not be a great – I don't think it's going to be a quadrant 1 win or anything like that. But they got something going. I don't think you want to let that momentum slip away.
And the other thing is there's 2 things off of that. If you just look at the games, you feel a lot better about beating Arkansas if you win tonight. The second thing, which is just pure mathematics, Tennessee is probably going to win twice. They're going to blow the doors off of South Carolina at home tonight, or on the road tonight. Then they play at home to Vandy. I think they're a better team. They'll be
I think they are
favorite there.
But that's at least a contestable game.
True. But they have a much better chance of being 2-0 than Missouri does. So Missouri can't afford any kind of setback because if they lose tonight, they're not going to get past. I don't think Tennessee's going to go 1-1. I think they need to try to keep pace. Keep where they are. I'm not worried about Kentucky, but Tennessee's got a pretty favorable schedule the last 2 games. I'd much rather have their schedule than Missouri's. At South Carolina, home for Vandy. I'll take that over at Oklahoma and home for Arkansas.
I mean they're 79% and 62%, but 76-72 is the predicted score against Vanderbilt, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. I think that's a rivalry game.
It is.
I definitely think that's a losable game.
Losable, but I don't think they're likely to lose. I think Tennessee is more likely to go 2-0 than Missouri.
Than 1-1?
Then yes. Mathematically, probably. I think they're more likely to go 2-0 than Missouri is to go 2-0. So I think because if Missouri loses, I think they're in a rough spot. I think they're going to need to go 2-0 to maintain that bye.
If they beat Arkansas, well, we'll see. We'll know in a week.
That's a nice thing because we don't have to play the games out. But maybe that's just a little lingering part of the Missouri fan of me. But
let me ask you this: who's got a more fragile psyche, Missouri or Kansas right now? Like normally that'd be pretty easy to be like Kansas has been there, done it. They have the confidence, all that. But
I think it has to be Kansas.
You think they're more fragile?
I think in their mind they're probably because they're coming off. They're coming off
Are they more fragile because they came into the season with bigger expectations, so they're fragile because they're trying to beat the higher expectations, where Missouri is somewhat exceeding expectations now, at least from the way the season started, so they feel good. I mean, or does Missouri feel like they're the better team and they're more confident they can beat anybody?
I think just hearing Bill Self saying, this is the furthest we've been in a season with having it less figured out than before. I think that freaks out some Kansas fans.
I think the answer is both. I think Missouri is more confident because they had lesser expectations, and so they are meeting and exceeding those expectations, and that's helping their confidence. I do think the bigger expectations you have when you put on that Kansas uniform has them a little bit more fragile, but I also think they're a really fragile team. They know every time they've started to feel like, okay, yeah, here it is. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And part of that's how good their league is.
Right.
You know, like when you're off a little bit, you don't get to have like a back-ass win. You got to bring it to win against the big boys in the Big 12.
And Missouri was like that for the first half of the SEC schedule. When they after going 2-0, they started to kind of win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, lose, win, lose. And now they've won 6 of 8. They're starting to they've gotten completely healthy. They've figured out who can do what. They have a much better rotation. It's essentially 8 guys, but they have a much better rotation of what they're doing, and they feel like they're ascending. They're finally becoming the team that Dennis Gates thought they'd be. He made a reference to that was today or yesterday about finally rounding. This is the healthiest and together we've been as a team is right now. He talked about in the off season because last year they kind of peaked early and then they kind of struggled down the stretch. And Gabe DeArmond asked him about, do you make any changes? He said, yes. In the off season, I kind of tried to move things back about a month. I knew that our January was going to be our December. And February was going to be our January, and because we're getting guys back, and scheduling wise, this kind of way that he put that together. Well, I thought you had to schedule basketball games more than that much ahead, but he seemed to talk about the fact the reason why he scheduled that was because he knew his team was going to be complete until conference season started, so he wanted to make it a little easier.
I would buy that if he'd ever. I'll lean on what Gabe said yesterday. If he had ever scheduled hard in the non-con, then I would buy that.
Yes.
But he never has.
But they never do, so that's a good point.
And I think part of it might be because I don't know that, and this is maybe what, Gabe said, look, Missouri's going to have to give him an extension at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Like if you're a Missouri fan, you missed our conversation with Gabe DeArmond last night. It was really good. Gabe said a lot of really good stuff. Fourth hour podcast from yesterday, 810WHB.com and on the 810 app. But he said, look, I wrote it. He wrote about it at Power Mizzou that Missouri fans may not want to hear this, but you're going to have to give him an extension after this year.
Yeah.
Right? Because he said, back-to-back years in the tournament. And he cited how long
10 win season, 10 wins in the SEC and 20 wins overall.
But the tournament's the real one.
Yeah.
And he cited how long that's been. And he said, and he's also got a top 5 recruiting class coming in. Like, what if you don't want to keep him? He will have offers. Like,
and you're going to lose those. You might lose those players.
Yeah, there are more. Right now we haven't heard about the jobs that are going to be open, but Syracuse better be open. And like I don't know. I don't know that Syracuse is a better job than Missouri. I don't know what's a better job in the NIL. I'd have to find out. Do we have one of our billionaires that's, do we have any billionaires? First of all, I don't know of any Syracuse billionaires, but do we have any that are going to splash money around? K-State might be the best job out there because they got the most money behind it. Who knows? We're going to find out. But I do think, if there are programs with big money, and right now they're like what I would say 2 really strong mid-major candidates. There's no, I don't see a Calipari leaving the Nets, a Billy Donovan leaving if Billy Donovan leaves the Bulls, everyone's going to be in line for him, of course. But, right now there's no talk of that happening. So, I think it could be, like you don't think you have a coaching problem unless you leave Dennis Gates dangling out there.
Yeah.
And he's got 3 years left, but you keep giving your football coach more years.
Yep. And they've proven they've got at least a financial base to get players, not quarterbacks, but get players on the football team. They'll spend money. If he wins again and makes any kind of a dent in this NCAA tournament with this class coming back in, they'll start spending more money there maybe, and that's when you think that program can really get up and start running instead of just kind of jogging, which they've more or less been for quite a while. But that certainly is a team you can see with a little bit of infusion of money and talent kind of take off a bit. They've always been positioned to where if the conditions were right, they could take off, and we've always wondered why they haven't. Maybe the conditions are about to be right for them to take off. We'll see.
Yeah, it's the question is Dennis Gates inspiring people? I don't think he's inspiring. I think he is to a degree. I think people like what they see out of this team. I think that's where you got to get to extensions based on inspiration and not extensions based on fear.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that with the back-to-back 10-win seasons, a bowl win over Ohio State, I don't know about this past year's extension, but the previous ones for Eli Drinkwitz were inspiration. You know?
Yeah.
That was, okay, we got to look at what this guy's doing. We can't let him go anywhere. It's like a reward. This year's was fear. Florida, is, you know, his name keeps being mentioned at Florida. I don't think this year's team, it's not to say that everyone's down on him. It's just to say this year's performance, the extension he got was not merit-driven. It was fear-driven. Right? I mean, that's what it was. I think Gates will be a little bit of both. You know, the back-to-back tournament years. But I do think Missouri very quickly, if he gets an extension very quickly, and then this happened with Tang. Tang earned his first extension off inspiration. He got to the Elite Eight. His second one was fear of Arkansas.
Right.
Right? But very quickly it pivots. No more like if and I think when Dennis Gates gets an extension, that'll be the last time you talk about how many times in a row you've made the tournament since. Because he will go to a level that probably puts him in the Brad Underwood 4.5 range. It's going to take him into some air where guys have really done something. You know, now if he goes to the Sweet 16, that'll add some inspiration. If he goes to the Elite Eight, that it'll become an inspired contract extension. But if he just goes out on the first weekend, either game or a play-in game, they're probably, I don't know, a play-in game loss might sour some people pretty big. You know, that might be worse than, you know, it won't be worse than not getting in, but it won't be good.
No.
And so there's still a chance to change the tint of that. But that's why I think, again, tonight's an important game.
Yeah.
You know, improve your standing, give yourself a chance to amass as many theoretical trophies, as many fake trophies, as Eric Eager likes to call them, that you can, you know, say, look at all this progress. But after this, and I think we are there with Eli Drinkwitz, right? Like with Eli Drinkwitz, and to a degree, we might be there with Lance Leipold. You know, like, it's not about, like, well, you know, it's so much better than what we used to have.
Yeah.
It's got to be, this is what he's done.
Yes.
So
Yeah. And
I think there's a lot at stake with Mizzou.
And the other plus, I think, for Gates is one, it's the incoming class, but the fact that he had a 20-win NCAA tournament team last year, and this year's team is being, you know, Mark Mitchell's back, Jacob Cruz is back, but he hasn't been as good. He hasn't been needed as much. Anthony Robinson, same way. Trent Pierce is back. But Jaden Stone, T.O. Barrett, Sean Phillips, Trent Burns, all new guys. He went and found replacing guys. And Stone and Barrett have been huge. And Phillips is starting to become big, and Burns is starting to make some. So he's found a way to kind of rebuild his team. He still has his top guy, but he had to rebuild a lot of that team, and it took a little while for them to kind of get up to speed and get healthy, but they're there. So he's now shown that he can, in a back-to-back year, create a tournament-level team and with having to replace probably half the scoring.
All right. Right now, let me alert you to a little poll I put up. With Arizona claiming the Big 12 championship last night, it's now been 3 years since KU won it. It's the longest drought since 99 to 01. What's the biggest reason for this drought? I give you 4 options. The new schools in the league, better head coaches, name, image, and likeness, or the transfer portal. What's the biggest reason why Kansas hasn't won a championship in the last 3 years? You can vote, see the percentages where they are. We'll talk about that more a little bit later on. 913-3810810. Phone lines are open. Got a couple of people on the line. Got a couple of lines open. You can grab it right now at 913-3810810. Hit me up on the Twitter. If you've got any thoughts, it's at Soren Petro. You can hit up Kurtis and, continue to, rightfully respond to why he is trying to make fan bases hate their best players.
It's been my stated goal since I got into radio.
I laid it on pretty thick, so I hope you caught the sarcasm.
Yeah.
913-3810810. Maybe just a hint of a warning. It's talking about how sweet and aromatic and fresh smelling my hair is.
Ah,
Got my hair cut.
nice. I
My
missed
girl, my girl Susie uses some kind of very fragrant
Very
nice shampoo and conditioner. So,
I missed the haircut.
I got that going for me.
I don't miss having to buy shampoo and conditioner.
I am but I am wearing a hat. Am I the only one that gets the wild hair after the haircut? Maybe it has something to do with having straight hair. You can sit this one out, Kay.
Yeah, no kidding. 20 years.
But like, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do day one. It's like, I really think your hair might feel it, and we just don't know it. And the hair is like bleeding or something,
No, 100%.
It's like no.
Yeah.
No.
If I get mine cut on a Sunday, I got to go home and shower because I know it's just going to look stupid.
Yeah. And so, showered this morning before the haircut. I am not unkept today, but did not have time to go for the post haircut shower, the kind of calm nerves of the hair down.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go cap. I went hat.
Yeah.
It's a good hat though. I
They
like the hat.
always give you the wrap thing around the neck so that the hair doesn't get.
No.
It always does.
No,
It always goes down. To my
we don't mess
shirt.
around with that.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Whenever I would get a haircut,
No.
they wrap the thing and then put the apron around. So
Turns
you don't
out,
get any hair down your neck and always gets
My neck's fat enough that I'm just about choked to death by the apron on the last snap. So no way hair is getting down that slot. I know what you're talking about though.
Yep.
Those are the good old days.
Haircuts are awesome.
By the way, those things don't work at all anyway.
I know. As I'm saying, I've never had one that's enough to go. It's still like, how much would there be if I didn't wear this? I'm guessing the same amount.
Probably. 913-381-810-810, the phone number, 913-381-810. We said we'd go to the phone lines, so we do it right now. Mark wants to talk NFL draft. You're in the program. Mark, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Soren. I called a few weeks ago mentioning where the top 10 running backs in the draft were taken, and just talking about the running backs in general being undervalued, in my opinion. And Jason Anderson today brought up an excellent point talking about
Doubtful.
I was going to
Doubtful.
say. I was about to go.
Objection.
I knew that was coming.
Hearsay. No, go ahead. I know where you're going. I know where you're going, and you are correct.
We were
so,
both
but
running to the bat rack for that.
I'll let you lead off. You are right. I know where you're going with this, and he had a good point. Go ahead.
He just mentioned, and we do. Even me, I'm like, we value edge players at $30K, even when, and we'll throw this in there. He didn't say this, but even when one of the edge players in anyone's book is an outlier arm-wise, lengthwise, whatever you believe in that. And the other one, some people say, will never be solid at playing the run, but we value them at 30, and then we value a running back that's supposedly even a 90% comp of Barkley or Bijan at 8 when maybe we should be going 20. But I wanted to tack on to that.
Okay, can you hold that thought? Hold that thought and let me add something in here real quick? First of all, you're talking about Reuben Bain being the outlier, being an outlier as in the sense that he has short arms. He's deficient in that category, yet he's still being valued up really high because the mock drafters are going in there. You're going to now listen over the coming weeks as we lead up to the draft, and people are going to rise. You're going to hear that they're rising and falling. And in reality, what's happening is the NFL information guys are just going to get around to talking to all the people, and they're going to start hearing the reality. I talked with a couple of personnel people coming in before the combine who are already telling me Bain's arms are short. We just don't know how short, but it will affect it. Now, you can't call 32 GMs if you've got all 32 numbers in the first few days. You've got to have reasons to talk to them. The NFL, we'll get some hot rise and falling. The NFL owners meetings, when that rolls around, GMs linger around that. People, presidents and other things that talk to football guys, information, that'll be a next big information dump on the guys who do have the nose. Like we had Dan Graziano on, and he talked about how important it is to be at the combine, to talk to everybody, one, to get their numbers, but also to start getting that information. Teams are now digesting the combine. It's not like that number goes up and they now know where it is. They have to now take Reuben Bain's arm length and put it with every other defensive end, right, and figure out where that puts him in there, which they're in the process of. All their guys, they want to look at the tape. Everybody, then they've got to compare it to the D tackles. Well, look, all these D tackles have long arms. All these D tackles had big, broad jumps. Now it's not just where you move within your position group. It's where you move within all the position groups. So I just want to be clear. Your point is valid, and keep going. You don't need to address this. But everything is. There's always this feeling that before the draft, this is where everyone is, and after the draft, this is where everyone is. And I'm telling you that they have not set their boards, so nobody who is telling you where these guys rank is, and they're all doing a fine job. They're doing the best they can with the information they have, but we're not even close to what the boards are going to get set like when we get to mid-April. I just want to make that clear. So Bain is not set in gold that, I've seen it 4 in places and 5 in places. That is not set in stone that's where the guy's going. And if he changes, it's because, oh, wow, he must have torn his knee in a workout or something. Like, it's still a very fluid operation right now. But go ahead with your point about the running backs.
Yeah, and to that, my point was more, I think in general, and there's reasons why, but the edges do get valued.
Yep.
Up there, and running backs always, this supposedly we just poo-poo off the fact that they're surefire because it's a weak position, right? It's not a high-end position. But my point to that, too, so you take that in consideration, and then you take into consideration that a running back as a rookie is most of the time, especially semi-quote, can't-miss guy, is going to immediately help your offense. And in anyone's book, an edge player doesn't really start to rock and roll until maybe a year and a half into 2 years. Well, he's halfway through his contract, and you've already got maybe 2 years out of your running back of making an impact. So there's that part of it that's not. You always talk about contracts and the lengths of them. That's huge for a running back to hit the ground when you're piecemealing a rookie and you don't want to feed him too much, and he's only on the field maybe half the plays as a rookie, and then he starts to come on. And so I just wanted to tack on that fact that a running back, you're getting 4 solid years, and even if good on
of what history are you telling me that there isn't a learning curve for running backs? Who are you pointing to that you're saying there isn't a learning curve, and that running backs are this finished product that are ready to be all that they can be in year one? Who are you pointing to for that?
Well, I guess and I'd have to look this up. You might be able to prove, but I would say when it's up, I'm talking about Love in particular, I guess. It's
right, but we don't know about him. So give me who you're pointing to that's led you to believe that Love is going to hit the ground running.
Well, those 10 running backs that I mentioned that led the league, I'd have to go back and look what Saquon did, what Bijan did. But I think generally speaking, most people would say running backs are pretty well. There's been a lot of rookie running backs that's just come on the scene and tore it up. Now I'm talking high draft pick running back.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you a high draft pick running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy that the Chiefs really liked, right? And went at pick number 12, so that's in the ballpark of where the Chiefs are. His first year, he had 945 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns. Well, but David Montgomery was there. That was part of the problem, okay? Because, so you can't really count on him. Okay, let me give you last year's number 2 running back. That was taken. The second running back off the board, which was Marion Hampton. Marion Hampton went a little bit later. He wasn't as highly thought of. Hampton went 22 overall. His rookie year, 545 yards rushing, 192 yards receiving. There's a learning curve for all of them. And for running backs, can they blitz pick up? That's going to be a big one. I do think, listen, Kareem Hunt hit the ground running. I'll give you the best example. But what's the obvious note there? He's a 3rd-round pick. So, I think every running back's different. Are you going to scheme to make them as effective as possible? I think your point, if what you're leading up to is Jeremiah Love is a strong contender for the Chiefs at number 9, I agree wholeheartedly. And I think the point that Jason and Sterling were making about the 14 – well, I'm going to let you go, Mark. It sounds like you might need to get off the tracks there, buddy. If you stand back –
Mark?
Yeah.
Mark.
Because the freight train's coming.
Yes.
Sure. But, their point that when you put the franchise tag on Breece Hall for $14.3 million, I think it is, we're resetting the running back market. And now with Jeremiah Love, I think the number 9 pick is going to make like 5, 6, 7, 8 is what the base salaries will be on that. Yeah, it's now getting to be a bargain. When they were making $3 million for Javonte Williams in free agency last year, like one guy, I think it was Najee Harris, broke $4 million per year last year in free agency. Then you're like, well, wait a minute, we're going to be paying Love up here towards the top. Well, no, actually, you're not. I mean, the running backs are getting more expensive. And to Kurtis's point that he added on yesterday about the fact that, okay, yes, maybe it's not ideal, but how much is it going to help Patrick Mahomes? And are you ready to admit we've got 5 more good years with Patrick Mahomes? And so if we've got 5 years with the running back, does that put us in a good spot? Like, should we just recognize this is the weapon that can help Patrick Mahomes the most? Not only one just to accumulate stats and try to win games, but also to protect his knee, to not put as much on him.
Yeah.
And I think the other reason why I think Jeremiah Love is a strong contender to go as high as number 9 is he catches the ball, right? I to this day, Derrick Henry would go higher than he did back then, but not much. Not much. How many championships has Derrick Henry won?
None.
How many Super Bowls has he played in?
None.
How many conference championship games?
One.
Okay? So the point is that style of back, it's great. It's great to pound away. It's great after they win to talk about how tough he is to tackle and all those big things. But the guys that go to Super Bowls are Christian McCaffrey's, right? He hadn't won it, but he's been to 2 of them.
Yep.
Okay? Catching the football, still the most efficient way to move the ball is throwing it. We want to run to get our passing game back to being more effective. And then when we do throw it, we'd really like that weapon to be on the field. Well, Jeremiah loves that kind of running back.
Yeah, and people talk about not just can he catch the ball, but he actually runs routes, almost like a wide receiver.
Well, and that's what one of the draft pundits was saying at the combine is, he's out there, the running backs are doing the routes, and he looks like a wide out running these routes.
Yeah.
And so are the Chiefs sandbagging? They love the guy. I know they like Gibbs. And I think Gibbs is, Love is bigger, but Gibbs is a pretty good comp for kind of the style of back that the two of them are in the sense. So, yes, I mean, was it Miller who said he's now a candidate to go 2 or 3?
Might have been, yeah. I will say Jordan Reed has him up to 8, so going to the Saints. So the negative is if you're the Chiefs or you're a fan of that and you're wanting more to validate the idea that they'd take him, the great combine he had and the number that he ran sure made it a much more appealing choice for the Chiefs, but it also made it an appealing choice for some of the 8 teams above them, which we kind of talked about yesterday, the teams that would certainly be – it would be bad enough to have a top 10 spot, or a top 8 spot, but would still want to grab a running back. And the 2 teams you thought of immediately were the Commanders and the Saints. The Saints are the ones that Jordan Reed has him going to.
It may have been that the over-under on Jordan Love being a Chief, or the window of a 40 time for Jordan Love being a Chief, was between Jeremiah Love was between 4.44 and 4.49.
Yeah, that's the
because above 4.44, he's going to go before you, and below a 4.49,
you don't want it.
We can't justify taking him at 9. So he may have had this tiny little sliver of a window that made him the right speed to get to you and to be worth your pick, but not to be overrating it.
And even though he has had a tendency to move up, that does not strike me. The cost of going from even 9 to 8 when you only have 6 picks would be pretty prohibitive.
Yeah. 913-810-810. Let's go next to our buddy Sean in Jersey. You're in the program, Sean. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Just looking at this rain. Watch away the snow on the East Coast, man, out here in Jersey.
Yeah, how much snow you still got on the ground?
Nah, there's still some piles, but not too bad.
Not too bad, okay.
The rain is getting it out of here, which is a good thing, and the temperature's been going up, so.
Good. I'm glad you guys are digging out.
Yes, sir. But, hey, listen, Soren, I just heard your last caller talking about the running back. My thoughts on that is I'm kind of thinking the Chiefs coaching staff brought in Bieniemy again and DeMarco Murray to figure out this running back position, to look at the roster. Do we have something that you guys could work with on the roster? That way we don't have to go for a Love. Maybe we don't know. I don't know what Travis Kelce's doing. And I know that tight end from Oregon, he's been looking pretty good in the combine. But my bet is
I haven't. Let me say this: I haven't seen a tight end, be that kind of athletic champion at the combine since Noah Fant.
Right. So my thing is, Soren.
I don't think. I think you missed the point there.
Means
Oh
he might
yeah,
not be
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
it is.
Yeah.
It is. There's still a lot of nuance to playing that tight end position beyond just the athleticism.
I get what you're saying, but with Brees Hall signing at well, he didn't sign. They what they do? They gave him a franchise
Franchise
not a
tag, yeah.
franchise tag. Was it the franchise tag today? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Kenneth Walker, and it's like, you know, Eric Bieniemy, DeMeco Ryan, DeMarco Murray. They've been in in the league for a long time, dealing with running back positions. And look what Eric Bieniemy did last year with what was the guy's name from Chicago? The one that got in the 7th round?
Kyle Monungai.
And I'll let me point something else out, too, because Monungai did play well, was a 7th rounder, drafted after Brashard Smith, by the way, in the 7th round.
Exactly.
But I will also point out that Swift increased his yards per carry by a full yard.
Okay. All right. So with this saying, Mahomes coming off the injury, would it be best for – because I know Javon Taylor's leaving. He's gone. He's already been gone. But would it be best to go O-line? And if they could get a solidified tackle, or I don't know what's the other guy from Ohio State, the left tackle we grabbed.
Josh Simmons?
He was having issues during the season last year. So would it be best to grab a left tackle? Because like I just heard you talking to the other caller, we have Mahomes for another good 5 years. It's best to protect him.
Yeah.
I understand
and potentially it could be more, but I think you can feel good through age 36 that Mahomes is going to deliver you, at least 35, 36. So 5-6 years, but 37 on. I think you can feel good, but I do want to point out Donovan McNabb got old at 33, and getting out of Dodge and escapability was a big part of his game, and he couldn't live without it. And Patrick Mahomes, that's been a big part of his game.
Few quarterbacks in the history of the game have turned more first downs by running.
Yeah.
On another note, Mahomes and McNabb, they were two totally different quarterbacks. So.
Yeah.
But listen, what I'm saying
I
is,
don't know how different they are, but.
Well, I mean, Mahomes had the Super Bowls.
Stylistically,
McNabb doesn't, But what I'm trying to say is that would you rather have a complete offensive line, a solidified left tackle, guard, or would you rather have the running back? And I'll listen off here, Soren. Thank you guys for taking my call.
Okay, I appreciate it, Sean. Thank you for the call. That's a tough one. I mean, I think you're going to get to a spot. What do I want the Chiefs to do? Take a premium player at a premium position. Right? And I think that's D-tackle that can really wreck the pocket in addition to not just some run stuffer, but D-tackle that can collapse the pocket. It's edge rusher that can get straight to the quarterback. It's wide out that can run the routes and make people miss and run through arms. It's quarterback, obviously, but they're not in the market for quarterback. It would be corner, but I'm not as high on the corner because I think, one, they're good at developing them, and two, I think you only want them for one contract. I'm team trade Trent McDuffie. Like, that's what I'd be doing right now, and counting on the fact that we're going to get more young corners and we're going to make it work. But corner would be up there as one of those positions. So give me the Miami kid's last name. I'm still working on it.
Maui Goa.
If Maui Goa from Miami is there, I'm really interested. None of the other tackles would I put in. Do I love at 9? I may end up saying, okay, I'll go there. I'd be more likely to say, let's trade down and take one of the tackles because I see him as a right tackle. I think Tate, the wideout from Ohio State, is there. I think Love, the running back from Notre Dame, is in the mix for the Chiefs. I think Bain is in the mix for the Chiefs. You got to find out how much the short arms. He would be in the mix for me. I don't think Steve Spagnuolo wants a guy with short arms. So I really don't think he's very high on the Chiefs board. I mean, he's Josh Uche, and that guy has not performed well for Steve Spagnuolo. And you can't argue with the results. I just think that, your defensive line is going to get better with quantity of defensive linemen, not off the quality of one. And so, the other guys that are being talked about up high, I'm not sure either one of the Ohio State linebackers to me look like a lineup on the edge, put your hand on the ground and go. I don't know that they're good scheme fits for Steve Spagnuolo. I don't think the tech guy's big enough for Steve Spagnuolo. I think it's kind of an awkward top of the draft class.
Yeah.
And it's going to depend upon how it starts shaking out. And I don't think you'll see the Chiefs move out of 9, and usually you don't, before the draft. But on draft day, I think there'll be a handful of guys. They'll be willing to take any one of them. And if they're not there, they're going to be looking to move down.
I think Bain might be there. Everything I've seen, Bailey's going to be gone by 5.
Yeah.
That could be wrong, but every time I look at it in mock draft, he's up
and
to
I think that's
5'4",
fine because I did that.
3.
Does he look like a
Yeah,
Spagnuolo guy?
Not at all. So I think you like that. If you want a guy, if you want an edge guy, I'd rather have Bailey up there and Bain falling than the other way around.
913-3810810. We'll take a break. More of your phone calls next here in the program. You're listening to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 913-3810810, taking your phone calls at 913-3810810. Let's talk to Ted. You're in the program, Ted. What's going on, buddy?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, the offense, I don't think the offense can run through Travis Kelce again and be what they want to be just because of his age and how his yards per catch and everything has gone down. I heard somebody say, if Rashee Rice is suspended, that we have the worst wide receiver group in the NFL with what we have right now. I guess my question is, what can they get in? Do you think that a wide receiver or a tight end would give more impact to the offense? And I don't want to take the guy from Oregon at 9. I still say they need to trade back. and trade McDuffie more picks. So can you break down the tight end room and the tight end draft? Is there a guy out there? I'm not talking a 5th or 6th round guy. I'm talking a guy that can make an impact. Is there a guy in the 2nd round that can be gotten or late in the 1st?
Okay.
And whether or not that would have more impact for the running game and the offense overall as compared to taking a wide receiver that I'm just not excited about the 3 top wide receiver guys.
You don't like Carnell
That's my
Tate?
question.
I'm not as excited about Tyson and Lemon, but Carnell Tate excites me. You're not a fan of his?
Yeah, I just he's with the other guy up there at Ohio State, and you never know. And I don't know. They just don't jump out that this is going to be the guy. Somebody said he'll make a great number 2. Well, geez, you spend number 9 pick on a number 2 wide receiver. So,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they'd be better off looking in the 2nd round for an impact tight end if there is one.
Yeah, I think that's the year we're running into the logjam, right? Like, there's a lot of things you need. Well, you need an edge rusher, you need a defensive tackle, you're going to need corners, pretty quick, especially if you move Trent McDuffie. You need, and frankly, you need multiple defensive tackles. You need.
I think they could trade back. I think they can trade back from 9 and get a good defensive tackle, can't they?
Yes. I think they could trade back from 9 and get a pretty good offensive tackle prospect, right?
Yeah.
To me, my dream scenario is probably, it depends on how highly you value the Miami offensive tackle. And if you value him and you can plug him in and go, and now you've got the protection there for Patrick Mahomes, that's pretty intriguing to me. I'm definitely team offense, but I'm definitely team quantity. So trade down from 9. Whether it's, I think somebody proposed a trade with the Chiefs moving down to 12, or moving down to 16. I can't remember what it was. The Rams,
something like that, 4 or 5 spots. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams have multiple picks. But moving down, getting extra picks, getting quantity of picks over just like trying to get the one highest pick to go with it, and moving Trent McDuffie and then trying to address a lot of these needs, because I do think you have needs all over. I think you need to be looking at the next 2 years, which Jalen Moore is going to be gone. That's why I think offensive tackle is going to be expensive on a multi-year deal. That's why I think offensive tackle is something you need to look at. It's one of the reasons why the Chiefs are said to be interested in I forget his first name, but Walker from the Packers, who's been their solid starting left tackle. One, I think they play him at right tackle, but I think it gives them insurance for Josh Simmons over on the left side. So they've said to be interested in him. That's going to cost $20 million plus, to put him in the mix. But if you get that, then you don't need a tackle. Now you're kind of locked up there. But so free agency can help, depending upon how much money they're going to clear. Rasheed Walker. I think, but like I said, wideout, you hit on it. Yeah, wideout's really scary right now. I think there's a lot of spots. And Ted, thanks for the call. But they need a running back. They need a wideout. They need an offensive tackle. They need 2 defensive tackles. They need a defensive end. They need 1 corner.
Yeah.
And probably 2, because Christian Fulton's one of their 2 starting corners right now. They could use a safety.
And you're like, well, they've got 6 picks. They can get 6. Well, they can take 6 picks in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah,
they'd have to hit every single one of them has to hit to fill that many spots.
Yeah, so
which is another reason why I don't see a trade up.
Yeah, I don't.
Because the cost of going up even 1 spot.
So, but back to your original point, how much would a tight end help? I think the Chiefs had a very unique tight end situation. I don't think you try to recreate that. The better way to spread the field and open things up for a running game is with wideouts who can catch the ball. And it's time to go back and get a big-time wideout whenever you can.
All right, the Colts, the second team ever to place the transition tag on a quarterback. Who was the first? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
refilling my water.
It's okay. It's good for you.
You know, Frank, if you'd been on yesterday, it would have been on the anniversary of the you seeing Wilt score 109.
That's right.
Points, of course.
Hershey, Pennsylvania, where there were, I guess, 4 or 5 million fans at
That's
that
right.
game.
Yeah.
Correct, right in there.
That's right.
Everyone. I was
You
there
nailed
that
it.
night.
With
You
the-
nailed it.
With the Hershey's Kisses as street lamps in
Yeah.
Hershey. Have you ever been in Hershey?
I have not.
I'm not-
Not
pretty
been
cool.
Hershey. Is it?
They have Hershey's Kisses are the shape of the street lamps in the city of Hershey. So it's a pretty cool place. Yep. Get to tour the plant. The Hershey's plant.
Where is it in the state of Pennsylvania?
It's right. It's over on the eastern side of the state. Yeah. Almost midway
By
through.
Philly
By
or by-
Philly. Closer
okay.
to Philly than it is to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard that Pennsylvania is Philadelphia and Pittsburgh separated by West Virginia.
Actually
Is that
separated by Harrisburg.
accurate?
Yeah, West Virginia's right there. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
I
not
don't
far.
know.
In
The
fact,
middle part is more
Morgantown-
like West Virginia.
Morgantown is only maybe 45 to 50 minutes south of the Kansas City International Airport. Or Kansas
Wow,
City.
that's
Pittsburgh.
Who knew?
Pittsburgh International Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real close.
Yeah. It.
You don't want to fly into Morgantown, by the way.
Well, you can't, can you?
No, you can.
Well, you can, but only on little planes.
It's on top of a mountain. It's just like you come out of nowhere. All you're seeing is like mountains. Next thing you know, boom, you're on the runway going, where'd that come from?
Northern Pennsylvania is all like dairy farms.
Yeah, dairy farms, and they have that's some beautiful country over there.
Oh,
They've
boy.
got some nice.
I'll tell
It's
you what,
beautiful.
huh?
Yeah, got the
Beautiful.
Laurel Mountains. They got the Blue Mountain. They got some good mountains there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful state. There's nothing wrong with Pennsylvania.
But I agree. The city of Pittsburgh's neat the way it
Gorgeous.
kind of undulates up and around the mountains and
Yeah,
everything. And,
yeah.
I mean, they're not Colorado mountains, but
No, yeah.
they're
Well, so amazing.
picturesque.
It's also amazing that a town for decades was like the steel capital.
And
Now
the
it's
one
like
of
the
the ugliest
technology
cities
capital
ever.
and medical research. It's
I
like
know.
one of the more amazing
That was the
towns.
big pivot they did.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, they knew the steel
Is it
industry
really the
was
capital
leaving.
of medical research?
It's one of them.
It's
I
one of
mean,
them,
it's,
yeah.
It's got a big hospital. It's got Carnegie
yeah.
Mellon.
I mean, there's a
And that's-
lot of stuff going
Well,
on.
no,
there
they
more than
have.
that?
Oh God, yeah, they have a whole hospital hill, just like sort of we do here. In
Oh,
fact,
so
the-
that how
But
does
it's-
that make
but
it
it's
the
more.
capital if it's just like Kansas City?
well, it's a research. It's a research center, just like KU Med Center is a research hospital. It is the same. Pittsburgh has several like that. In fact, you know the Pit.
yeah.
That is about Pittsburgh and the hospital in
I know.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
It's fictitious. I know that. Still, the Pit. So they decided to put it there for some
Is it
reason.
really all about medical research? Yeah, they have a TV show.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
wow,
got one
okay,
there. Yeah,
that's all.
no, they do a lot of medical research, and they pivoted to. They were the first city that had the driverless cars.
Really?
Yep, whipping around downtown and outside of Pittsburgh in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. Okay, they have a giant X racetrack there, and they are doing research and development on driverless tractor trailers. It is being funded by Walmart. Now, there's a few factoids for you.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Thanks.
Just a couple. Sure, no problem. Anytime.
What do you think about the driverless tractor trailer?
I
idea?
don't know. I'm not sure.
What do you think about the driver?
Yeah,
Driver
right. The
filled tractor
drivers of tractor trailers. Yeah, not good either. But the one thing is,
They have their moments. There are good ones.
oh sure there are. There's
Always
some,
give them
there's
their
some great
space.
truck drivers. You
There's
bet.
nothing more annoying than a bad truck driver.
Yeah, and to the good truck drivers, it's even worse because they hate those guys. Because they give them all a bad name.
That's right.
Yep.
They sure do.
Our boys, you know.
You ever
out on
call
the
that
road.
number on the back? How's my driving?
Yeah.
1-800? You ever get on the phone and
There you go.
you ever done it?
Not while I'm driving. No.
I have.
Yep.
Stunned.
That is
Well,
surprising.
you get a guy doing stupid things, like I'll call it.
Yeah.
I assume that's why it's there. Hey, if you can tell the meth head here in truck 41685,
How many,
he
how many
just
phone
pulled
calls?
right there?
That has
how many
your-
phone calls you think you'd get if you put that sticker on the back of your vehicle?
Hey, Curtis, not many because he'd be going by him so fast.
I would see.
And, no, I wouldn't be
All I
able to
caught
get
was
them all.
913.
All I caught was
All I caught was 913.
I got
Settle
800.
down.
I got 800. That's all I got. It was
Settle
gone.
down.
No.
Well, the number would be 1-800-DON'T bother.
Yeah.
Because I ain't listening.
Yeah. But go ahead. Leave a message.
1-800 blank blank. And that is 7 letters.
I don't know that you need the blank on you.
That's true. Well, I didn't realize that worked until I
That was
said,
good, though.
oh, wait a minute. That's 7.
Yeah.
Okay,
Frank.
we settled all that. So
All
there we
works
go.
as well as you.
Yeah,
There we are.
that's right.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us.
Perfect.
Which is
Why
nice.
do you have a Toronto Blue Jays?
I have many hats, Frank.
I know that.
I'm a man of many hats.
Is there a reason why you?
I
wanted the
actually,
Blue Jays today?
one, I really love the city of Toronto. That's
Okay,
one of my
it's
favorite
a beautiful
cities.
place. Yeah. Been there.
I like that the Jays are a thorn in the ass of the Yankees.
Okay.
So I like that.
Okay.
And then we have a double logo rule.
You have a double logos on.
So I can get away with wearing a Toronto Blue Jays hat while wearing a Creighton Blue Jays shirt. And not being double logo, but they match.
Okay.
So
There you go.
you didn't have to ask.
I asked. I just wondered. I thought there would be a significance to the hat.
You don't like the Blue Jays hat?
I do like that. It's beautiful. I think it's
You
great.
hate Canada?
No, I don't hate Canada
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
I've been there several times.
We personally blame Canada, but
Yes.
Well, of course.
It's not even a real country anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be a state. Okay.
By the way, South Park reference if you're
Yeah.
not picking up
Just
on
in
it.
case.
Blame Canada.
They're
Blame
not-
Canada.
They're
not even a
real
state.
country
No.
anyway.
Is that not even a real
Yeah.
country or
They're
not,
not
even
even a real
state?
country anyway.
Yeah.
And they speak French.
Yeah. Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
The Canadian government has apologized for Brian Adams on a number of occasions.
I forgot that line.
There's no reason to apologize for Brian Adams, but that's still funny.
That is a brilliant show.
Frank, what were you doing in the summer of '69?
I was
Since
just
Curtis brought it
Did you
up.
get your first
just-
real 6-string?
just a lot of things. Just
Did Joni get married?
just had graduated from college. Just had graduated. New graduate. Waiting for the selective service to call my number.
Okay. Wow. All right.
So it was a very
Just-
trying summer.
Guess somebody should think about that before they ask that stupid question. And somebody didn't. Yeah.
By the way,
Height of Vietnam War.
There's nothing funny about that, Frank.
No, there isn't.
You know?
A lot of my friends got married that summer.
Like Joni.
Because they knew. Yes, because they
Isn't that
knew.
what,
Jody.
Jody quit.
Yeah, Jimmy quit. Jody got married.
married.
Yeah, right.
By the way, Brian Adams was 10 in December of '69. So
There
he
you
was
are.
probably
He was rocking out with the band.
little,
though.
little fictitious.
You think so?
It's all right.
Fictional. Yeah.
Well, the summer of '73 didn't rhyme very good.
Summer of '78.
A little bit different vibe to it.
Very much so.
Yeah, so you had to go that route. Okay, good to know. Frank, what do you think of the latest on the running backs? Breece Hall franchise for $14.3 million. That's a running back. We expected that to happen. They'd been talking about that for a week, but now it's officially happened, helping to set the running back free agent market as well. So does that make
Makes
you
it
more inclined to take Jeremiah Love at pick number 9?
I think if Jeremiah Love is there, the Chiefs will take him. No
Really?
matter who else is left on the board.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think he impressed people enough with his speed in the 40 and all the things he did with Notre Dame, and I just think they will end up taking him. Now, whether they should or not, that's a different story. If he's not there, I think they'll try to find an edge, and that could be Reuben Bain, but I don't think Bain's going to be there either. I know his stock is dropping because of his arm length.
Well, it really
but
isn't.
not-
It
but
really
not-
isn't dropping.
I mean, as far as the Chiefs are concerned, is what I'll say. I think it's dropping because we know what Steve Spagnuolo wants. He wants a guy that has longer arms, probably at least 3
He
inches
does like him
longer
some
than
length.
Yeah, at least 3 inches longer than Baines. That's significant. It's not like a half inch or a quarter inch or something
Yeah.
of that nature.
They knew he was going to come in short. They just didn't know how short. I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised he measured.
Yeah.
Like,
It's tough when you have arms like that, too. If you get to the quarterback, wrapping some of these quarterbacks up and bringing them down, sometimes your arms won't go around it. They won't go around Josh Allen, okay? They're not going to go around Lamar Jackson. All right, so that makes escapability for those quarterbacks a little bit higher, but you can definitely put pressure on them, that's for sure. And that's maybe what you're looking for more than sacks.
Yeah, the question is, how much can he overcome that with all the other stuff?
Yeah, and he does have all the other stuff. I think except for arm length, he has everything you want.
Right.
And I think that'll be enough for most teams to take him before the Chiefs have a chance. I think both Bain and Love will be off the board before the Chiefs pick.
Okay. So if you had to put your money on who they take, who would you put it on?
I think it would be an edge rusher, somebody, or maybe even trade out of that spot if you don't really have somebody you're just all gaga over. Move down a little bit, pick up somebody else's first, give them yours, and then go on with another pick for either next season or later in the draft this season. Just getting more picks, which you love to do.
I do.
So,
I would be all in favor
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
draft picks.
Mhm.
We haven't heard anything yet about how that first on the agenda, first on the list. Trent McDuffie has gone, but
First
do you
item.
think Trent McDuffie is a Chief in 26?
I do not.
Okay.
Okay, just because where there's smoke, there's fire. There's been so much talk about it, no deniability from anybody at Arrowhead. I just think it's a real possibility.
Yeah, I think it'd be. I
Especially
don't.
what he's going to go for.
If I had to predict it, I don't think his agency. I think his agency this time of year is going to be talking about resetting the cornerback market
Right.
based on the agency he has, and if that's the case, you don't need to fight this out. Now you may have to. What if nobody will give you what you want?
Well, he's going to be yours. How about, do you want to franchise tag him? I mean, it doesn't look like the Chiefs are going to franchise tag anybody, right?
Well, you don't have to. You wouldn't have to. You don't have to franchise him.
Oh,
till
that's
next
right.
year.
He's still one more year.
This is just the time you usually give
Right.
a player of his caliber. I mean, Sauce Gardner is in the same draft class, and so was the Texans guy, Stingley.
Mm-hmm.
And they both already got extensions. So the big question to me is, would Trent McDuffie hold out? Now, in some ways, that's not a bad thing if he announces he's not coming in, if he holds out of OTAs and minicamp. Because then it makes it official, and everyone's like, well, okay, we have interest. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
I really think the best way to maximize your return would be to wait through this draft and then trade him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't have many picks in this draft, so they could use more picks. So I don't think that's really going to be what they do. But it's why I keep stating at some point, bite the bullet and start doing things the right way. Live without 1 year and start doing it the right way, because if you had a bunch of picks, let's say you'd made other trades, you hadn't moved up for guys, you hadn't done all this, and you were already sitting here with 11 picks right now, and you move back and you get another couple of picks, and then you maneuver around, you end up with 11 or 12 players in your draft class, which this team this year could really use.
They could really use it. More than anybody else.
Then you could be like, okay, we'll trade Trent McDuffie after the draft, because teams are always more willing to trade their future picks.
Yeah, because depending on what they got in the draft, and they go, boy, we really have
Well, they all think they're going to be better.
Right, but they know also we really didn't get the corner we really wanted. He went 2 picks before we got him.
Yeah.
And so now McDuffie's out there, so let's go talk to Kansas City.
The Colts weren't going to give up 2 first-round picks if they'd have known where they were picking for Sauce Gardner.
Oh, yeah.
That it'll be the same kind of deal. I don't think you're going to get 2 first-round picks. I think everybody recognizes that was too much. But I think you can maximize your return and get multiple picks if you wait until later in the draft. And this team needs to start fattening up on the 3rds and 4ths and 5ths. 6s and 7s. I would still fatten up on. The Rams do it and have pretty good luck with it.
Yeah,
but,
they do.
I do. I'd like to point out that the Chiefs are linked. Jason Lockenford, I think, is the one that said that the Chiefs are interested in. I just mentioned his name. The Packers tight end Kenneth Walker.
Not tight end. The left tackle.
The left tackle. I'm sorry,
Rasheed Walker.
Rasheed Walker. He was a 7th round pick.
Mm-hmm. And was coached up. And
you're going to give $20+ million to a guy you could have taken in the 7th if you had some 7th round picks.
Yeah, right.
So get them.
Who is it that has all the picks? Somebody has a ton, don't they?
Well, the Rams usually do. I have
14
somebody
or
has
something?
Somebody has 20?
20?
12, I think. 12 or 13.
Good Lord.
Let me see. That'd be something.
3 picks in every round?
That's pretty good. You could fatten up on that. I think it is. Is it the Rams? Despite the fact the Rams are pretty good, they still have. And then that's somebody you could trade with, too. If you're looking at a team like that has all those picks and you're going, hey, you want to do a little wheel and deal in here? You won't have to go get
Steelers
that.
have 12.
Okay.
What
And they need them too.
Yeah. Jets, Ravens, and Pats have 11.
Where are the Steelers picking?
10 and 7. They're picking, I think, at like 19.
They're
aren't
right
they?
after the Chiefs, right?
Something like that.
No, they're like 19. They were 10 and 7.
Oh, I thought
Chiefs were
I'm
6
sorry.
and
I
11.
thought you said they were picking 10th.
Pittsburgh,
No, you said they have 12.
21.
Picks. 21.
Okay.
You know, which one of the Rams, I mean, not a guy who came from that tree, a guy who actually coached under Sean McVay, who's done the best? I know Kevin O'Connell at Minnesota has had some good regular seasons, but he hadn't done anything in the playoffs.
no.
Who's the best one? My point to this is everyone keeps hiring McVay guys, thinking that's the solution, and nobody seems to be trying to do what they're doing front office
Personnel-wise,
wise.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
The personnel, the throwing numbers at it type of thing. I think they are now, and I think that's going to make it harder and harder to trade down. Everyone's like, no, trading down more picks, that's what we want.
So everybody's going to want to do it.
Which is unfortunate because had you been doing that before, you could pivot and be like, okay, everybody wants to trade down.
I'm here.
It's discounts. We'll move up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the running backs were cheap last year. Great, get one.
Right.
No, you didn't. Now you really need one. Well, guess what? They're way more expensive.
Yeah.
You got to get ahead of the curve. You got to start seeing what the trend is and going the other direction.
Yeah. Plus, if you want to try to trade down and get a better pick, not down, trade up, okay, you need a lot of picks
Yeah.
in the draft in order to put a package together and go get that. If you don't have that, then all of a sudden, well, we had 7 picks. Well, now we have 4. You know, we just had to give up all these picks to try.
Yeah,
We
they only have
4
6
picks.
right now.
They only have 6. Yeah.
So
They can't trade up for all. I'm sorry. Yeah, they can't trade up for all practical purposes. They cannot. They can't afford to anyway. They need all picks they can get.
yeah, they could do one of those. We'll give you our 3rd and 5th for your 3rd and 6th,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
type of thing. But
And
they need quantity.
the Rams this year have 11 picks and have 2 in the first round. So it wasn't like they had to mortgage those picks to move up. They made a trade with the Falcons. So they got 2 firsts, a second, a third.
How did they get what they do with the Falcons? Was that last
I
year?
think it was. 2 firsts, a second, a third, 2 fifths, 2 sixths, and 3 sevenths.
Wow. Boy, that's a nice grouping.
And how did they get the second first?
Let me see. I'm looked that up here.
They have the Falcons first this year. What the
Yeah.
hell did they do?
Let's see.
They must have moved up.
They got out ahead of the curve big time.
I mean,
They must have moved up and out of a first round somewhere.
Well, they moved out their coach and GM.
Yeah, well, we know that. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who they went up for. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Rams received, let's see, a 2025 draft day trade. Rams acquired the Falcons' 2026 first-round pick. Atlanta traded up to 26 to select linebacker James Pierce. Yikes. Also
Who's now got all kinds of battery charges.
Yes, he gets
and got a
legal
25
problems.
third-round pick while sitting their first-rounder, a 25 second, and a 25 seventh. So
So wait a minute. Forget years. Just
Yeah.
tell me what picks the Falcons got.
the Falcons got a first and a third. And the Rams got a first, a second, and a seventh.
That's nice. And what was the swap on the first? I don't want to get too deep into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was
See,
the
the Falcons got number 26.
They got last year's second.
Yeah.
So they got a middling second.
46.
So they went from
And so this year
they
it's
went
a
from
first.
25 down to
Yeah.
46,
Okay.
and then they get this year's
Yeah,
first.
they went down to 46. They got 46 and 242 for 26 and 101.
So
And
they
this
down.
year's
They were
first.
down. They went down twice. 2 pretty big. A decent jump,
Yeah.
decent fall from the first to the middle of the second, then a big fall on the second one. But in exchange, they get this year's first,
Which is number 13.
which they just looked at it and went,
Which they could
Michael
still,
Penix.
Yeah, which they could, and it was for
we'll do
James
this.
Pierce.
I mean, that's an example where everyone's like, future picks are worth way less. The Rams didn't look at it that way.
Nope.
No.
And look how good they look right now.
Yeah, they had the best offense in football last year, and they might be able to grab. Again, he's a rookie, but last mock draft I saw had him taking Sadiq from Oregon, which they don't necessarily. He didn't have to be the savior,
They don't
but
even need- they've got-
athletic.
they've got-
guy, I mean,
couple of decent young tight ends already.
But
Yeah,
like,
that kid's
but
really
like
good,
they
too.
could just.
But now
grab,
they can trade too.
But they could, but maybe,
13.
but maybe Tate falls to him, right?
Yes.
Maybe the
Oh, yeah.
Miami offensive tackle falls to him.
Sure.
They can get potentially a franchise, or Bain falls to him. They could get a franchise player and then still have another first round pick for depth
Right.
because they don't panic and they know that next year will come.
Yeah.
That's right. Not only that, they're in a tough division too. You know, they know
Yeah.
Seattle's sitting there, San Francisco's sitting there.
And they
Yeah.
move the ball up and down the field on Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if Seattle didn't win it, the Rams were gonna.
Yep.
Yes.
It wasn't going to be the Patriots. There's one thing that's clear: that the AFC was a puddle of ass.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Disaster.
I mean,
last year.
this was the year to back ass into the playoffs. If you were the Chiefs, you could have done what you did 2 years before because the AFC just wasn't that good, especially once Bo Nix went down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then like Pats weren't that good.
Bo Nix's team knocked Josh Allen out.
Bills
and
are the
then
Bills.
Bo Nix's team knocked Josh Allen's team out and then lost Bo Nix.
Ravens are the
You're like,
Ravens.
okay, that's a double whammy. If you're
Chiefs.
the Pats, you're like, we don't have to face either one of those guys.
Chiefs weren't
Thank
the
you.
Chiefs.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
Nobody else took the baton except New England.
Yeah.
We don't miss the Chiefs in these playoffs. Really?
Yeah, you do.
No, we'll
Okay.
see.
For ratings alone.
We'll see where they go. I think trade down's a distinct possibility. I think there'll be a handful of guys they'll be looking at, and if they're gone, they'll try to move down.
Yeah.
But
I think if Bain and Love are gone, now Tate's there or somebody like that, then okay, fine. But I just don't. Those guys are looking at the top. I don't think there's that many this year. I know you guys have it in the tip of your tongues, but how many real first-round draft choices are there in the first round?
early return on that
Is 11?
4 weeks ago. Well, that's what Matt Miller said.
It's 11 or
I talked to a
something like
personnel guy who said 14.
that? Okay.
Said
That's not
we're
even.
we're not done, but right now he goes. I mentioned the Matt Miller thing, and he said, "Yeah, I think that's a little low."
Right. That's a
He
less.
said, "I
that's
think we're
less
looking
than
at
half.
more like 14."
Yeah, that's less than half.
So if I were to say, who are those 14? I would guess Mendoza,
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah.
Reese, the edge from Ohio State, outside linebacker,
Get the ones you're looking at.
David
after,
Bailey,
after the Chiefs
Reuben
pick
Bain.
at 9.
Sonny Styles of Ohio State, Monroe Free. I don't know about this. This is the first one. This one of the ones we were looking at today has Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle from Georgia, at 6. I'm not going to put him on that list. Caleb Downs is 6. Jeremiah Love 7. Carnell Tate 8. One of the corners I think you mentioned was 9.
Chiefs could use one of those.
I'm guessing this guy was putting Mesidor, the other edge from Miami.
So basically, by the time you get to Chiefs, there's going to be like four or five of those guys left that they are considered.
Well, if
real
they all
first-round
go
draft
bing, bing, bing. But like I said, if this, so like
Right.
I'm looking at a
but
mock
they're still only
draft.
going to get 9.
I'm looking at a
of the-
mock draft. They don't have. They're not interested in the quarterback.
No.
And I don't know what the Chiefs' number is. This guy was from somewhere else. Like if Freeling goes, that's a guy that I don't think maybe he is now, but wasn't then. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll have 3 guys that they consider to be true first-round picks. The question is, are they going to take a safety? Are they going to take a running back? Those are not traditional positions to take that high.
No, right, exactly.
And some people have the Ohio State safety going 2. 2.
Somebody has a need. They're going to go. They're going to take a chance.
So
He ain't that good, is he?
he's really
He's
good.
great, but what, 2?
The way it was said to me is that the tape, there's no flaw on the tape.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then didn't he run
like no
ridiculously
floor, yeah.
fast?
the only problem with that is, too, how good are the players up in front of them? I don't care how good you are in
Well,
your position. If you're not getting any pressure on a quarterback anywhere, you're going to get toasted. I don't care who you are.
I've been told many times, and I can't remember, the Chiefs had some Alabama linebacker that fit this bill that like all the off-ball guys for Alabama can be a challenge because they're so good up front. Like, okay, yeah, the linebacker looks good.
Yeah.
No one's blocking him. He runs freely to the running back and blows him up because the defensive line's so good and takes up all the blockers. And a tight end and a fullback as well, just to block their front 4. And so here comes the linebackers and safeties flying up and blowing guys up. You know, the corners are so good you can just play center field as a safety.
They got pressure.
So that is the thing, and I think Ohio State is gotten that way. I mean, You know, I mean, we saw the Chiefs, blow it on it when they took Ryan Sims.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Sims looked like a pretty good defensive tackle. No, you know who was good? Julius Peppers, who played down the line from him at North Carolina. Julius Peppers made Ryan Sims look pretty good. Yeah,
Happens all over the field, yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's tough when there's that much, that many talented guys on one college team.
And I also think, the Chiefs really do need an edge guy to put that kind of pressure on a quarterback to help out their secondary linebackers. So I think that's a very high priority for them, but I still think they're probably salivating if Jeremiah Love is there.
Although I will point out, everybody is loving the Seahawks. First of all, the Seahawks finished about 8th in sacks. They weren't like number 1.
No.
Somehow they got turned into the
They went
the
the
85
the
Bears.
Broncos.
And that was not the case. And their front has a couple of old free agents on it.
Yes.
Like they might be pretty good this year, but they're going to fall off real fast because I think 33 is the end, and 31 or 2 is Leonard Williams, the defensive tackle. What they have is good depth. I mean, they have a third guy,
sure, they can
3
rotate
good D tackles.
some of the older guys out.
Don't get me wrong, Leonard Williams is really good, and we talked about him when he got traded. He got traded to the Seahawks, and then they re-signed him. And he got traded from the Jets. He go through the Giants. He go Jets to the Giants, and then the Giants. I thought he got moved twice.
Could be.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confusing some other defensive tackle. But anyway, he was pretty good. Maybe I'd be taking a look at him.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's not bad.
What he's
Got a
getting,
Super Bowl ring.
what it's costing to get
Tapping
him.
it on the dais now.
Yeah, but I can't. Quantity. They need quantity now.
Yeah, they need help.
Everybody's looking for saying somebody needs quality is like, really? You think so? Well, I was hoping to get a bunch of bad guys. Yes, they need good players, but I think they need quantity of players.
Yeah, because they're not all going to pan out.
Well, they don't have anybody on their roster.
Yeah, right. And then the guys you bring in might not pan out too.
If
That's
Rashee Rice
a double disaster.
If Rashee Rice is suspended,
Oh man,
I can't, because now we're talking Xavier Worthy, John Brownlee, and
Or Jason Brownlee.
whatever. When he
That
does
doesn't
something,
matter.
I'll figure it out. Okay.
Brownlee.
We're talking about. No, I don't want to try again later. I want you to go to where I clicked. We seem to have hit a snag. No, that's not going to let me.
it's all right.
Son of a bitch.
That's because there's nobody left. There's nobody left in the wide receiver room. Just says, "Hey, please, you're looking for an area. There is no content. No content here."
I'm glad the 38 pop-ups worked, though. I hate to think of that not happening. Your third wideout without Rashee Rice, if he's suspended right now. Oh, I forgot the great Jalen Royals. It'd be, it's Xavier Worthy, Jalen Royals, and Jason Brownlee.
That's it. Not good.
Even if you have Rashee Rice, it's
It doesn't-
Rashee
it's
Rice,
still not
Xavier
good.
Worthy,
Yeah.
and Jalen Royals.
Yeah. I don't see how Rashee Rice. I just don't see it. I just don't see him not getting suspended again. This time could be for the whole season. If something falls apart in this situation here.
Yeah.
I think if there's one thing we can count on, it's that Rashee Rice plays every game. It's one thing we've learned. You can count on
That
him.
guy's rock solid.
He will be there.
I don't think
Oh
so.
boy.
Probably not.
I object.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Uh,
So what are you thinking? What if Reuben Bain and Jeremiah Love are sitting there when the Chiefs pick?
Well, I mean, this is where just sitting here saying what we do.
I understand.
What is the head coach telling you?
Yeah.
Because I do think that the recent personnel decisions have the fingerprints of Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo all over them.
Oh, sure they do.
I don't think there's any way that Brett Veach left to his own devices to build a roster the way he wanted to and not worrying about what coaches want. I don't think there's any way you sign a guard and a linebacker to those deals last year.
Right.
I don't think that gets done. And I will say I think they have to pivot away from that. That's why Trent McDuffie's a big one. If you're not going to get him signed, you have to start getting him traded beforehand. And I really think he should have been traded last offseason.
You talked about it.
That's where they have to get to. They have to get to here, we're coming to you to give you money now, but it has to be now. If it's not now, you may play for us or you may play for someone else. Because what you don't want to do is be in this, okay, he's holding out. Now we've lost our leverage. If you'd have moved Trey Smith 2 years ago, he was even a year younger. He actually had a better season. You would have gotten a lot for him.
Get out a year early. And that's not with 1 year left. That's with 2 years left. That's the year early.
When you go to Trent McDuffie and say, what's it going to take last summer, and you don't get the number you like, or if his agency is going to be like, well, we don't get around to it till then. Okay, great. We'll play your guys for 3 years, and then we'll trade them. Yeah. So just let it be known. This is how we do business. Right. We're not going to not take your guys because you have a million of them, but I'm not going to be strong-armed, and so this is when we do deals. If you don't do it, your guy's going to be shopped.
Yeah.
Tell him to rent when he comes to town, because I don't really think, he's not going to be happy. I don't care. We win.
If he's happy or not.
Like the Rams do everything by the math, and they seem to be doing just fine.
Yeah. Plus, I think they were really shooting for that third straight Super Bowl, too. And they're trying to hold everybody together and, just try to go for that.
But they were coming off losing that.
Yes.
When they signed the linebacker and the guard.
4. Yes.
Right. But going for 3 out of 4 is why?
Yeah. Well, just to keep the party rolling.
I would listen to. I still wouldn't like it, but I would listen to
3 straight wins.
Trying to win 3 straight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's unique. It's never been done. 3 out of 4 has been done.
Yeah.
So stop compromising your principles. The Trey Smith signing is boggled. That has Andy Reid all over it. That has
for sure.
I got to have my guys, because there is no way a quality general manager looks at it and goes, I can't find a guard. I got to sign this guy.
Or I got rid of my other guy.
Everybody and their brother can find a guard. Just miss on a tackle and move him in. See Kingsley Suamataia.
That's right.
So, yeah, frustrating. All right, let's take a break. We'll get some frank opinions next. The Godfather is here in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
Now remember, we're here to impress the girlfriends of guys we barely know. So when you get the ball, throw it like a cannon. You must throw your arm out on every play.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. All Weather Decks is Kansas City's best when it comes to building your outdoor living spaces. It's a little rainy, it's a little chilly, but when it gets warmer, even when it's rainy, if you got a screened-in porch, that's a great place to be. One of my favorite places to hang out, in the screened-in porch. Also got the dry underdecking that All Weather Deck's built for us, so we can go underneath our deck that sticks out over our patio. Great place to sit and watch the thunderstorms roll in. Can't wait for thunderstorm season. Like to go out, have a little Corona premiere, and just watch the rain, just relaxing. It's fun. Something I like to do. All Weather Decks gave us beautiful outdoor living space. They can do the same for you. The Kansas City's best, 24-time winner of the Angie Super Service Award, A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau, and they're only 6 or 7 weeks away from starting your project. So don't wait. Call right now. It's actually the perfect time to call. 913-206-1974. When they show up to work in 6 or 7 weeks, that's about how long it takes to get the permits. They're working on your project, and that crew works only on your project. That way, you get your job done quicker, right? That's nice to know. Starting it sooner, finishing it faster, and building it better than anybody else. That's what all those awards are about. Go to the website, allweatherdecks.net. That's allweatherdecks.net. Photos of finished projects, the map links where they've done jobs all over the neighborhood, all over the metro. I guarantee you they've done some in your neighborhood. You can check it out. Go to allweatherdecks.net. Even get an estimate started right there, or give them a call. Call Cass and the guys at 913-206-1974. Make sure to tell them Petro sent you. Say, hey, I heard Petro you did a great job for Petro. I want the same kind of project. Let All Weather Decks go to work for you. Online at allweatherdecks.net, and relax.
March means March Madness. Double shows, use and skips left side. It's Flemings. Flemings sizing up Bradley. Flemings now picked up on a switch. Jumper up and down the three. Over Karchenkov.
Tough defense, and one of the nation's best freshmen have the Houston Cougars back in the potential title conversation. But can they get back to the title game? To find out, stay tuned for Westwood One's exclusive NCAA tournament coverage right here.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Right now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, you can get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 qualifying brake rotors. Ask the professional parts people about additional brake pad and rotor upgrade options available at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impact.
All right, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. I love this song. Colts, the second team to place the transition tag on a quarterback. Who was the first?
Transition, right? Not franchise, because Kirk Cousins had the franchise. Transition tag on a quarterback. Give me a year.
1996. NFC team.
Division?
Well, they were then in the NFC West. They are now in the NFC South.
Team.
Falcons.
Name.
He had a connection to the Colts.
Falcons. In 96. Matt Schaub.
Had a connection to the Colts. The player. May have been drafted by the Colts.
Jeff George.
Jeff
Oh, my
George.
Lord.
30
Lordy.
years ago. That comes from
Wow.
NFL's official research account on Twitter.
Now, you know that is the perfect name to add to Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones and Jeff George.
Yeah.
Two.
Jeff George
80
came out with so much hype.
Million dollar arm, 10-cent head. You watch some of the highlights. If you just watch the ball, you're just like,
I don't think you. I mean,
goodness, what a
the arm was
and
the arm talent was insane.
Unbelievable.
And he had better years probably than people remember.
He
seemed like
did.
he was this complete bust. But I mean that Viking team that he took into St. Louis in '99, they were loaded, and he could
spin it.
He could.
What else was underrated about Jeff George?
The mustache.
The porn stash.
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And the
it was
eye black.
It
he had
was
the shag haircut.
It defined porn stash.
Yeah.
And he had the haircut too. The whole. Not that I've ever seen it, but I'm just saying.
And he always had the
yeah, right.
Yeah.
He always had the eye black real dark.
Yeah.
He just looked like that kind of guy.
Let's get to some frank opinions,
Let's
Curtis.
do
Where
it.
do we begin?
We begin with will the Chiefs? This comes from Dennis.
Do you love how he always seems to be surprised we're starting this?
I usually have another page up there.
He is always prepared.
Oh,
Soren.
This thing we've done for 10 years. We're gonna do it now.
Oh,
10 years.
okay.
Oh, my God.
You make a note to bust your balls the next time you don't do something perfect, which will be in the next segment. Or this segment. All right. Frank opinions. This comes from Dennis.
Okay.
Will the Chiefs sign a running back in the first week of free agency? Yes or no?
I'll say yes, yeah.
Number?
69%.
70.
77.
Starting in the hole.
Yeah.
You're good at this, though.
Comes from our friend Aaron Odegaard. Been a while since I've heard one from him.
Yeah, thanks. I wasn't sure he's still alive.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Who was the more important hire for their organization? Bill Self, Andy Reid.
Oh, good Lord.
Isn't that a great question?
That is a good question.
I would have never thought to.
I know.
I'm going to say Andy Reid.
Yeah, same here. I'm going to say just because football's king.
Number?
I'll say 65.
66.
79.6. That question, it was asked.
That is a good question.
4 years ago when they were piling toward a national championship game. That might have been a little closer, but I think Reid's going to be the answer regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, this comes.
Well, the Chiefs were down and out. Kansas was still Kansas.
Yeah,
when
this
Bill
is true.
took the
This is
job.
true.
That's the biggest.
That's
difference.
a good point. This comes from Jeff. How do you feel about the new floor at the Big 12 tournament? Cool, whatever, not cool.
To me, whatever.
I don't know. I think it is cool. I mean, it's the next evolution. It seems obvious. A ribbon board, everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, until Darren Peterson says it hurts his eyes.
Or it hurts his knee, or it gives him a cramp.
Sucking the fluids out of my hamstrings.
What is the deal?
Ow!
It's not going to be on. They're going to project like hardwood, I'm assuming.
Yes.
While they're
Or
playing.
that kind of grayish
What is
field court they've had the last few years there. It's not even wood tone. It'll be for timeouts and stuff and pregame.
What was the question?
Cool.
Cool. What were the options? I mean,
Boy. Whew.
What were the options?
Cool,
didn't
whatever,
take
or
long,
not
did it?
cool. No.
No, you rolled. Do your job.
It did not limp in catching up to you. Karma.
Which, what'd you take?
I took meh. I took the middle.
Whatever.
I said whatever.
Cool, whatever, or not good.
I think it's going to be whatever or cool followed by the other. I don't think not cool is good. Meh. I think people like meh.
It is actually cool.
Damn
Number?
it.
Taking your first. What they were thinking?
Who's
up? Me or you?
Me? No, I am.
You
What
are.
percentage? 50.
Ooh, that's a pretty good number. I'll say 51.
43.4. Whatever had 42.5, so they were really within 1% of each other. Not cool, just 14%. How many Big 12 regular season titles does Kansas win over the next 10 seasons? Obviously, starting with next year. 0, 1, 2, 3 or more.
They'll say 3 or more.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll go 3 or more.
It's actually 2.
Oh, God, that's where I was thinking. What do you got, Frank?
Number?
There's 3 choices, right?
4 choices. 0,
okay.
1,
I'll
2,
still say
3 or
it's
more.
going to be, I'll say 60.
No, 59.
55 or 45.5.
Good, because I was going to get that. I deserve that. That's karma. Ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. What should the Chiefs' main goal be with this draft? This comes from Zane. Protect Patrick Mahomes, add explosive weapons, reload the defense, or stockpile draft picks.
Weapons.
Yeah, I'll say weapons, too.
Number?
4 choices?
Yeah,
Mhm.
4
Okay.
choices. 58%.
Lower.
I think it's big.
57.
45.
Bad question.
Who would you rather?
There's been 2 bad questions then.
Yeah, that's right.
Who would? Yeah.
That's funny how you figured that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would you rather hear on the call for college basketball? Schulman and Billis, Shambi and Frischilla. They're going to split
Yeah.
next week.
Did Frischilla say something?
I
Was
don't
there
know.
a
Frischella's going to be
here?
on the radio call for the championship game, but Shambi and Frischilla will do everything up through Friday.
I'll
and
say
Schulman and Billis will do
Shambi
the
and
championship game.
Frischilla.
Yeah, Roxy had it last year. I was talking to Roxy, and he's like, yeah, they called in the big guns for this one. He goes, I'm not getting this. I'm not getting the Big 12 this year.
Well, Schulman and Billis are going to do the game on Saturday, then go to Nashville and do
Nashville.
the SEC game on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then so for sure, well, yeah, because
Yeah.
they're doing, but that's the final game on
Yeah.
each, right?
Yeah.
So they're getting
Yeah.
all the way through here, though.
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
look at the Saturday
But
final
Shambi,
here.
but the Shambi and Frischilla are going to do for the first time. They're going to do the first 3 rounds and then duck out for the championship game.
Yeah.
They're getting replaced for the title game.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. I said
Yeah.
Roxy got the championship game
Yeah.
last year. It
Nice.
wasn't neither one of those
Yeah.
groups were working it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell the question is.
Which one would you rather hear?
Oh, who do I rather hear?
Which pairing?
Schulman and Billis.
I say Shambi and Frischilla.
74-26, Schulman and Billis.
Wow, I thought they hated Billis.
No.
I thought they didn't like
Other
Billis.
people hate Billis.
Okay.
2 more?
All right.
We'll just do the last one.
No,
then.
2 more.
Okay, 2 more. Best
Give Frank a chance.
Best Bryan Adams song: Heaven, Summer of '69, I Do It For You, Run to You.
Summer of '69.
Yeah, summer of 69.
Number?
You, Frank. 4 choices.
50%.
51.
It is. Where did it go? Hang on.
Oh, quick. Oh, yeah. Not sudden.
It
It disappeared. Somebody. They took my computer.
58.7.
Thank you. It's me.
Wait a minute.
And finally, what will come to the new Chief Stadium first? Super Bowl, Final Four.
Final Four.
I'm going to say Super Bowl, just for fun, since I'm getting beat anyway.
52-48 Super Bowl.
Boo, boo. 5-3, I beat Frank. What do we got now?
All right, overall, 4-3-2 in favor of Soren. In the aggregate, Soren 55, Frank 53.
There you go.
Hello.
Does he ever look back? I think not.
Does he ever trail again?
We'll see.
We'll find out how stupid I am on current events. It's coming up next. We call it What in the World, Soren?
The program with Soren Petro.
I'm out.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. If you've got a spectacular jersey, I don't know, maybe of a famous quarterback, and you want it framed, go the only place I would go. That's Art and Frame. Art and Frame Warehouse is Kansas City's best. They protect the item. They don't poke holes in it. You know, some places do that. They, pin it down. That damages the item. That lessens the value. They've got every possible means to protect the jersey, like museum glass to cut down on the glare, UV protection. They do that. Like I said, they stretch it, make it look perfect in the display, but never harm it. They buy in bulk. That keeps their prices down, so you get gallery quality at warehouse prices. Look, for more than 25 years, they've been serving Kansas City. They're right there at 92nd and Metcalf. They're the best when it comes to framing any and all of your sports memorabilia, no matter what it might be. Olympic torch, bat, baseball. They do shadow boxes. They do it all, and all your home framing as well. They can do it. Plus, they deliver and install, and And everything comes with a lifetime warranty. We've only had to honor that once. Listen, they framed everything I've got when it comes to sports memorabilia, everything we've got when it comes to our framing in our house. I don't know what you're waiting for. Get right now to Art and Frame Warehouse. They're at 92nd and Metcalf. If you want to see them in person, find them online at framekc.com. That's framekc.com. Art and Frame Warehouse. Protect your collection.
Jeff Montgomery here for Amoeba Medical. The new year is all about turning the page and feeling your best. Men, if better sleep and fewer bathroom trips are on your list, an enlarged prostate could be the reason. I decided not to carry that problem into another year and contacted Dr. Brown at Amoeba Medical. Their non-surgical treatment was fast, simple, and came with minimal recovery time. And it's covered by insurance. Start the year more comfortable and well-rested. Schedule a visit with Dr. Brown and the team at Amoeba Medical in Kansas City. Amoeba Medical, MIVA-medical.com.
Winter roads can take a toll, so refresh your ride right now at Big O Tires. Now through March 15th, save up to $100 instantly on select sets of Ford tires. Plus, get ready for spring driving with expert service on brakes, alignments, oil changes, and more. Big O Tires wants to keep you safe on the roads. That's why they offer a free multi-point inspection with every service, plus a free convenient shuttle for drop-off and pickup. With convenient financing options, it's easy to roll into spring with confidence. Visit your locally owned and operated Big O Tires today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
When it comes to medical laundry, clean isn't just important, it's everything. That's why Kansas City hospitals, surgery centers, and clinics trust Walker Medical Linen Service. Family owned and proudly based right here in Kansas City. Walker delivers HLAC certified medical.
All right, what in the world, Frank? What do you got for me?
How much has a gallon of gas jumped from the start of the war against Iran?
Oh, geez, I don't know. 30 cents?
50 cents. My house went from $2.49 to $2.99 overnight. Well, national. I'm sorry. What was my? How much did Johnson County property taxes increase the past year? You should know this.
My representative is going to hear from me. Ass amount. That's why. Ridiculous amount. You want to go Frank White? Like, it's coming to you people in Johnson County. You're getting out of hand with this every year, raising us like 20%. Screw you people.
It's only 6%.
On top of 10 and 10 and 10. I lived in my house for 10 years. The property tax is more than doubled. You hit a spot.
What singer-songwriter died over the weekend? Early 60s? Big name?
I don't know.
Got crushed when the Beatles came to town. Paul Anka.
Okay.
The Freedom plane arrived in Kansas City yesterday. What is it carrying?
Freedom.
Historical documents will be displayed at World War I Museum and Memorial.
Huh?
All right, the last time Kansas won 3 straight years without winning a Big 12 championship, who were the either coaches who won during that 3-year stretch? 99-01. Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Second half of the program begins right now with Sam McDowell from the Kansas City Star, college columnist.
Everything columnist.
No, everything columnist. Sam, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. Sam, brought to you by our friends at All Weather Decks. If you are looking for that deck, patio, screen, and porch of your dreams, let All Weather Decks go to work for you. They're only 6 or 7 weeks away from starting the project. 24-time Angie Super Service Award winner. Find them online at allweatherdecks.net. Tell them Petro sent you. They are Kansas City's best, and the beautiful weather's right around the corner. Not today, but soon. Soon, very soon. Sam, how are you?
Doing great.
Did I ask you that already?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
It's better than not asking me
Yeah,
at
I'm
all.
figuring out all the things I got
I'll
to take
take
care
twice
of.
over
Yeah.
none.
There you go. It shows how I really care.
It does.
Yeah. What do you make of the Kansas Jayhawks now after the roller coaster that they've been on? Bad loss to Cincinnati, great win against Houston, ugly defeat at the hands of Arizona. What are these Jayhawks?
Yeah, this will shock you that I'm going to go against conventional wisdom on this. It was the largest margin of defeat of the year, and I actually think they should have felt better about their ceiling after the game than before it.
Why? Because they rallied for a little bit?
I thought that Darren Peterson looked as healthy as he has in a while, and I thought he looked more competitive than he has in a while, an ability to be more competitive in a while. And it showed up during that streak. I just thought in the first half he just didn't shoot it well. But I thought he was playing hard. I thought he was playing hard defensively and offensively. Those back-to-back plays he had, not back-to-back, but within that streak where he rebounds his own miss, he did it twice. We hadn't seen him do that, where he's the first guy to the ball in a jump shot from the perimeter, and he's the first guy to get the rebound and tip it in twice. I just thought he looked really competitive. And if, that's the Darren Peterson they get – to me, we've long had this conversation about playing with Darren Peterson, but even that is not this oranges to oranges comparison, because you don't get the same Darren Peterson every game. Are you playing with the Darren Peterson that doesn't have much to give, or are you playing with the really competitive Darren Peterson? And so, if that's the Darren Peterson you get the rest of the way, and now your guys can start to mold with them, then I just think, like I said, I felt better about what their ceiling would be more so than I still don't think they played a great game, obviously.
Do you think there's time for them to get to that ceiling?
I think he's got to play like that for the rest of the way in order for there to be adequate time. Because, one of the things you look at in these last 2 games is Flory Badunga has made 3 shots in the last 2 games. And to me, that's part of the product of Darren Peterson having a little bit more spring to his game. Is, okay, now you defer to him. Well, you can't just defer to him on every offensive possession. He's got to fit into what you're doing. And of course, he's the standout player, so asking the standout player to fit in is a difficult thing, but you can't accomplish that with time. But how much time do they have? You've got the guarantee of 3 games before the tournament starts. You can't have this up and down nature of this situation for the next 3 games. He's got to play that way. And if he plays that way for the next 3 games, and you obviously have 2 of the easier Big 12 opponents left, no gimmies, but 2 of the easier Big 12 opponents left before you hit the conference tournament, I think you could get it going. But you do have to get it going in a different fashion than the way it looked against Arizona. The rest of the guys still have to play the way they've been playing.
When you have the best, at least the best talent, let's call them that, the best talent in college basketball, I think there's a hope that you can get to being one of the best teams. Would you agree that that's gone? It's not to say that they can't win the championship, but they're not going to just barrel through 3 number 1 seeds to get it done. If they're going to win a championship, some work some of the lifting will get done for them.
Yeah, but because first of all, I think they have beaten Arizona. They can beat Arizona.
Sure.
They can't beat Michigan. They're not better than Michigan and Arizona. And I don't think, to your question,
I don't think they could go
they can't get better than those teams. We're not going to get to a spot in the championship where Kansas is going to be favored.
Right.
Against those 2 teams.
And they're not, and you would agree, they're not going to beat Kansas, Michigan, Duke. Bing, bing, bing.
Right. But I think one of the things that Arizona shows is what I'm saying about what KU's going to have to try and accomplish over these next couple of weeks, which is Arizona just looks like a team that's played together.
Mm-hmm.
They look like a team that really fits.
They know what they want to do.
Really fits together. And when you take away this, we've got Burries on as a wing player. When you try and take away when you try and double down low, and he's athletic and he's explosive and get to the rim, he can shoot it. There's only so much you can take away from a team that has a lot of facets to beat you.
Yeah, and I think Arizona, by turning around and then beating Iowa State as well, there ain't no we just had a day, or we just like. I mean, they had back-to-back losses, but they have proven that game in, game out, they're the real deal.
Oh, 100%. I mean, anyone who I think has watched Arizona more than 2 or 3 times comes away just really impressed. Like that's a difficult team to guard, but they also guard well.
Yeah.
And I feel not quite as strong. I still think Arizona is better than Michigan, and I know what the rankings are, but I feel not quite as strongly about Michigan. But Michigan has a lot of those same elements to where they're difficult because they have more than one strength.
Yeah, no, I think both those teams are really complete. Do you think Duke is on that same level?
I think Duke's really good, but it's just to me it's hard to judge Duke just because of where the ACC is right now. Like in the lack of Arizona, look at who they're going through, winning these games, and Michigan's beaten some really good teams, and like the ACC doesn't test you in the same way these two conference teams. I guess I would say it's possible, but I don't have the same level of confidence because just of what their schedule is, and that's the part that's out of their control. They play a tough schedule, and the part that's in their control, the ACC not being as competitive this year is the part that's not within their control.
Yeah, I think they did beat Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Duke's really good for sure. I feel I still think I'd rank Arizona, Michigan, and then Duke.
Okay. Duke's number one because they don't have the losses, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Do you agree that those 3 are a step ahead, or do you think Connecticut or Florida could join that mix as well?
No, I mean, to me that's the level that KU can get to, is that Connecticut, Florida level. I think and of course with any sort of qualifier, it's always going to be dependent on the qualifier itself, but especially with this year's KU team. I mean, this is a season of the qualifier if this goes well, like if Darren Peterson's healthy, if he's competitive like he was, if he's got that bounce to him. Because that's always been the thing with Darren Peterson about people talking about finishing games. It's like he can't just finish games. He's got to be himself. Like he can't just be out there to be out there. And the Cincinnati game, for example, this was his first game after, to me, the narrative really swelled in a different way nationally after he came out of the Oklahoma State game. They played the Cincinnati game, and he was out there, but he wasn't himself at all. And he might have finished that game, but I don't think we ever really saw him in that game the way that he expects to play. I thought that's what we saw in the Arizona game, is a lot closer version to himself.
Do you think we're going to get some kind of medical revelation down the road?
Well, this is what's different is, he's going to have to talk. And a week from now, I mean, the Big 12 tournament is open locker room. It's not a choice whether or not you're available in the same way that it has been for him. And that's what's ago that, there's one way to change the narrative that I referenced, which is play and finish games, and, that he wants to be out there and playing and finish games. To me, there's 2 ways. The other is explain exactly what's going on. Explain exactly what it is that you're feeling that prompts you to want to come out of the game. Explain that why you feel like you can't go back in the game. Explain, I think it's not only possible, but I would even say likely that this is a mental battle for him as well. Is it? To me,
what was the term he used?
Antisocial
loner.
Yeah, antisocial loner.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a player, because from people I've talked with, this has really bothered him. And I don't mean the narrative. I just mean not playing has really bothered him. But first of all, I'd like to hear him say that. But also, I like I said, I would just like to hear what is the response to, what are you feeling that prompts you to want to come out? What are you feeling that prompts you not to believe you can go back in once you do come out, whatever that feeling is? And then, like I said, are you battling it mentally too? I mean, there's been so much focus on the physical element of this. Is there a mental aspect of this as well? Because like I said, my guess is there probably is.
What are the driving factors you think most as to why that hasn't happened?
I think the way Bill Self talks to media, his frequency of availability, when you go to tournaments, he doesn't just do often just the set that's, with the mics and all that stuff. He often does extra for the locals outside of his locker. Like, he is plenty available. I guess I would have a hard time believing that KU's telling him not to explain. And that's to be clear, that's projection. But
that would then mean it's his choice.
Yeah, or I mean, the one thing that's involved in these situations, even though he's good enough to be a professional, is he just turned 19 in January. That's the type of age where you certainly are more receptive to listening to
he
advice.
isn't the first 19-year-old to have some microphone stuck in his face.
Well, what I was going to say,
it would mean that he is deficient in that.
No. What I was going
to
to say is, when you said it's his choice, I think an 18 and 19-year-old is going to be much more receptive to advice from from parents, from agents, that sort of thing, than someone like LeBron James, who's been doing this for a long time.
I agree.
And says, I'll figure this out. That's my point in saying his age.
Well, okay, whether it's him or whether it's, and did I interrupt your flow on where you're going?
Not really.
Okay,
I can slide it later.
Okay, if it was him, or whether it was somebody thinks he's deficient in getting in front of the mic,
or doesn't think that the answer is going to be satisfactory in any way to people. It's not an answer that. I mean, for example, I think.
But don't you think any answer is at least him saying it? It relieves you. You can only react to what he said. It's no longer the entire board of speculation is open.
That's what I believe. Yes.
Yes.
I don't think that's what everyone believes. I think, for example, if this is part of a mental block as well. I think, and again, I keep saying if, but I just want to underscore that. But if that is something that's going on,
and by the way, can I just say I agree with you?
Yeah, I would be empathetic, and you can always say you agree with me. I would be empathetic to that.
I can. I won't be that often.
I would be empathetic to that. I don't know that everybody would be. I think in that case, some people would say you're mentally soft.
No, but
you can't cut it out. How are you going to handle
that's a good point.
How are you going to handle the bigger game? So, like, let's say that's involved in it. I could see where some people would say, don't say that.
But I think you make a very good point that at 19 years old, you're more likely to just say, well, this is what my agent says, or this is what my dad says to do, or what have you. I think that's a very good point to remember. And that maybe one day, when we don't hear, what was the Ball's dad's name?
Lamar.
Lamar Ball, yeah.
We don't hear Lamar Ball anymore around LaMelo.
LeVar.
LeVar.
That's
what
I knew
it was.
LeVar wasn't quite right.
LeVar, yeah. We don't hear him. He says nothing anymore. And LaMelo, is the lead figure for the Charlotte Hornets, and so you don't hear him anymore. Probably because he's like, all right, enough, Dad, get out. I got this. So and maybe one day that transformation will happen.
It's also a reminder it could be worse, right?
You could have LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It could be worse.
I would agree, but I mean, I do. It is all part of the. Part of the package that an NBA team's going to have to decide.
Yes, and look, these questions.
That doesn't have anything to do with Kansas, but when the draft rolls around in June, it will be a factor.
Well, to me, it does have something to do with KU because of what I mentioned. Like, there's going to have open locker room in the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament. Like, there's no doubt in my mind their staff is preparing for that. But, when you haven't explained all this stuff, the question is still out there. And now the question is going to be out there as you're playing in a conference tournament, as you're potentially playing in the NCAA tournament. There's no doubt that whether he's available in the locker room or at the mic, that, when national media comes in who hasn't spoken to him yet, and now it's also going to be us local media who haven't all gotten these answers, that it's without a doubt going to be part of the story going in to the tournament is, hey, do you mind explaining this? Because you haven't really explained this to date.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I agree with you with him having to answer questions about it and everything along those lines. I think,
or at least publicly say he's not going to.
Can they?
Well, no, I'm saying he can publicly say I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I haven't seen evidence of.
I thought you meant KU say
declining.
He's not going to answer questions.
No, he's he's supposed to be required to talk or be available in some fashion, and I just haven't seen evidence, even in a couple stories I've seen written on Darren Peterson, one specifically that's even talked to him, that's even provided the evidence that those questions were asked. I'm sure they were, but I would just like to know in what fashion did he decline to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So what do you think KU is? Do you think it's going to come together?
I do think they have enough time. What's interesting about their potential seeding is, I don't know, you may even be better off. I mean, right now Texas Tech is the 2, right? Without Toppin. So theoretically that makes the 7 seed potentially a better seed than the 5 seed. Like, this last week it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out, because you might only get one game in the Big 12 tournament. You know, you'd have that bye to play a team, and you might
have to turn around and play Iowa State.
So you might win that game. You might get 2 games and then turn around and play Iowa State win your second game. And, I mean, that's
well, Iowa State would be their 4 or 5.
Yeah, so that would be your second game.
That would be your first if you get the double bye.
Well, I think only the 4 seeds get an extra bye, right? And then the next 4 get just the
the 5 through 8 get 1 bye, and the 1 through 4 get 2 byes.
Yeah, so if you're the 5 seed,
but KU's the 4 right now.
Yeah.
But my point is, doesn't Iowa State pass KU if they both went out?
No,
Is that not right?
Iowa State's a game behind now.
That went out.
That went out the door last night when they lost Arizona.
If Kansas wins tonight, they clinch the double
they lost
bye.
Arizona last night. Yeah, that's what I'm. Not
yeah, Iowa State would have gone by them had they won.
So yeah, you could potentially only get 1 game then.
Yeah, so now you're looking at Iowa State beats up on the 8-9 winner. No.
That'd be the 12-13, which right now is Baylor, Arizona State. If they're the 5.
Yeah, the gets the 12-13. So then you're most likely getting Iowa State.
Yeah, and that to me factored into the fact that usually the conference tournament to me is about the bubble teams. What bubble team can improve their NCAA tournament resume? KU might have more value in the tournament than any team in the country because of this conversation, because they need the games. In which case, really it might be more beneficial for them to have a 5 seed. You don't want to lose to Arizona State or K-State to get there, but I'm just saying, theoretically, I think they need games. Like, you need minutes with this situation. You need to play. If Darren Peterson's going to play with that level of competition, you need to figure out how you're going to play around him.
Any chance they throw tonight's game for that reason?
Just forfeit?
No, get the minutes in, but then, just drain the ball. Going up to the layup, take the ball down. Like you do with your kid.
Like batting
on the driveway.
left-handed?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
My team's on the court.
Yeah. Play with 4. Any chance of that?
Yeah, I think it's likely, right?
Yeah, okay. Good enough.
Flory walks out there. He's the only guy.
I like that. Sam McDowell is with us, columnist for your Kansas City Star. He's brought to you by our friends at All Weather Decks, Kansas City's best when it comes to building your outdoor living spaces. Once they have the permits, they're ready to go. That means they're only 6 or 7 weeks away from starting your job. What are you waiting for? Go to allweatherdecks.net and relax.
All right, the Lafayette Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. The last time KU went 3 straight years without winning a Big 12 title, name either coach who did win it.
So the 3 years in that run?
Yeah, it was two different coaches. One guy won it twice, obviously.
So what would we say, 99 to 01?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Eddie Sutton?
Nope.
Samson?
Nope.
Eustace?
Larry Eustace won it in 2000 and 2001 behind Marcus Pfizer and Jamal Tinsley and others. Who won it in 99?
Rick Barnes?
Still active, Rick Barnes, then of Texas.
How many did you get, Sam?
I think Samson's correct. So 1.
Were you in what, junior high when that happened? How old were you then?
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. Might have had a little bit of advantage on that one. Just a little.
The fact that you covered,
covered
Larry Eustace,
covered
and
those
Rick
games. Might have had a little something to do with it. We're talking to Sam McDowell. We just gave away Lafayette. Get to Lafayette today, 143rd and Metcalf. About now, good time to get in there before the dinner rush. They are very, very popular. Voted the number 2 new restaurant in Kansas City. Lafayette Italian Delicatessen. You can find them online at LafayetteDeli.com. Don't forget they cater. Their charcuterie boards are outstanding. They've got all kinds of great different imports that are there that you can check out, whether it's pastas or candies or all kinds of different treats from Italy and all over Europe. Check it out. Every sandwich comes on bread made fresh that morning, combined with the freshest meats and cheeses, ingredients, sauces, all made to order. Go online to LafayetteDeli.com to learn more right now. Sam, how about the Tigers? Huh? They're roaring. Not taking any crap out of Mississippi State. Going to go just drop a bomb on their head. That's probably the wrong time to say that. They're going to go and just wreck the Bulldogs. You know, a Tiger would beat a Bulldog in a fight.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, I'd probably say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was the preferred outcome based upon nature.
Yeah, I could see some people picking their bracket that way.
Yeah, I might know some of those people. Kyle.
Wow, Kyle catching strays.
MU looks pretty good.
They do look pretty good.
So over the last, I was looking this up yesterday. Over the last 5 weeks, they're 13th in the country and wins above bubble. Like that's basically your NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's what Gabe was talking about yesterday.
And they're 11th in adjusted offensive efficiency over the last 5 weeks. Before the last 5 weeks, they were 53rd and 64th in those metrics, which probably would have put them on the wrong side of the bubble. And to me, like they've gone from a team that you wondered would be in the field to a team that if you're like a 7, 8, 9 team, you probably don't want to be seeing. In your bracket.
If you're Miami, the latest thing I saw from CBS, they were at 10 and they were playing Miami in the 7 with the opportunity to then probably play Purdue in the 2. Purdue's a better defensive team, but I don't think either one of those teams are like, oh, that's a cakewalk.
Yeah, I think there's some teams that would probably fear matchup-wise how they'd match up with
Just
Mizzou.
the size.
Yeah, I mean, to me that's a major reason why their numbers are so much better. I know there's been some focus, for example, on Burns playing a lot more recently. To me, it's not like the production you're getting from Burns. It's what that means for everybody else. Like Mark Mitchell playing the 4 is a problem for other teams. They can't defend his physicality. He's 10th in the country in free throw rate over like the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like because
that's what who was it? It was
him.
Sean Miller who said I think Gabe told us that Sean Miller's postgame, he's like when they it makes them bigger everywhere.
Yeah.
Like they never get small.
Yeah, and like to me, like earlier they were playing Mark Mitchell at the 5 because they basically felt like they had to when they took Phillips out of the game. And when you keep him in the 4, like I think it's such an advantageous matchup for Mizzou. I wonder if some teams will in the tournament, for example, will just put their 5 on Mitchell and try and let him shoot and have the 4 be undersized with whatever matchup, which you're giving up a ton.
I would.
Remember like when
make a team play left-handed. Make them play like, oh, we've got this matchup. Okay, you want to dump it into the post to your 2 guys that are really they get the ball afterthoughts and driving dishes and
just because
go ahead and try to run your offense through your bigs. I definitely would.
I remember the last year Mizzou was in the SEC when Mizzou and KU were both really good. That's what Frank Haith did. That KU team was really good. Is he put their 5 on Thomas Robinson and made Kim English guard Jeff Withey.
Yeah.
In that game, just said, you guys want to make Jeff Withey the focal point of your offense? Go ahead.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, KU was winning most of that game until the end, but like
master tactician Frank Haith, we've said it. How many times have we said it during that tenure?
Faith and Haith.
But I do think
that's what everyone was saying. That's if you have a T-shirt somewhere in your closet floor that says Faith and Haith, I'd love to see it.
I think you've got one. It's just inside out, right?
Yes, right.
No, it was only a 3X. There's no chance it's getting back on.
True. I really, but I wonder if some teams will do that in the tournament against them, because that to me is one of the reasons they're so much better, is because other teams' fours cannot guard Mark Mitchell down low right
Well,
now.
and I think his put it on the deck is good enough to where I wonder if there won't be a time where he toys around with put both the big boys out there and slide him down to the 3. You know, I would be tempted to do that dependent upon what they ran at me. You know, like I remember there was like a little chess match, you know, again, probably before you're born. Now I'm going to go back far enough. The 86 NBA Finals between the Rockets and Celtics. And that was, you know, the Twin Towers, the first ever Twin Towers, Akeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson. And, you know, the Celtics really kind of had their own. If Kevin McHale had a neck, he would have been 7 feet. But instead he was 6'10" with these, you know, Frankenstein arms. But they went Houston. Then Houston had a third big that was like 6'11", like Peterson was his name. And they put all 3 of them out there, and the Celtics countered by moving Bird to the 2, and they put out Walton, Parrish, and McHale.
Yeah.
And so it was like, what are we doing here? Is this going to be like a lurch off here? Like, you know, and it was kind of entertaining. It wasn't very long, but for just a moment, Larry Bird was playing the 2. You know, and the Rockets' backcourt was big too, because they had Robert Reed, who was 6'7", and I think Lloyd, the point guard, or Reed was the point, I think maybe. But anyway, Lloyd was like 6'5". It was this giant team. So it's like still to this day the biggest 10 guys I've ever seen on the floor in an NBA playoffs. I mean, you could start getting some people out of whack if you wanted to try to do that. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so either. But I actually thought, because I really could foresee a tournament team doing this, that it certainly wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if somebody did this in the conference tournament to Mizzou.
Yeah.
And then for the next, 5 days, they could have some time to say, okay, how will we adjust if a team plays their 4 on Trent Burns or on Phillips, and gives, just to try and match up size-wise with Mark Mitchell.
Because most teams don't look like KU where they have 2
right
big guy. I mean, it's going to be
Their
more
stretch
of that.
4 is usually a stretch 4, not a 5.
Or really an NBA 3.
Yeah,
that's
100%. Yeah, and that's why I said I think what Kurtis said about the potential teams that could face them in the second round, and to me it's going to be like, can you match up with that or not? There are teams who can, and you mentioned like KU putting Bryson Tiller on him, for example, or putting Flory on him most likely.
Yeah,
and having Tiller guard Phillips or Burns, like you'd feel okay about that if you're KU. Mitchell's still a great player. There's other teams where you're going to say, we can't match up with that. And so, like, this whole tournament's always about matchups, but particularly for Mizzou and how you try and defend them, because they've been terrific offensively for 5 weeks now. Mitchell is 21st in points over replacement player in the whole country over the last 5 weeks, which, by the way, number 1 in that stat. This would be a good trivia question for you, Kurtis. I'm sure you never get suggestions. Bennett Sturts from Liberty High. Number 1.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Number 1
Very
in the
good.
best offensive player in the country over the last 5 weeks.
Wow. Not too surprising.
Where's that come from? What's the number that's using to measure
that's,
it?
That's Bart Torvik's
Torvik?
points over replacement player, and it's got a lot of mixture into that formula, but
yeah, he's a respected guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Gary Parrish quotes him all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of stuff that comes from like the Ken Palm tree, for example. But Mizzou also to me is indicative of like this transfer era, to where it's not going to click right away for the teams that have a lot of turnover, and it's going to take some time. But you've got to use that time wisely. And 43-point loss to Illinois, I think a lot of us wrote them off, and instead it sort of jump-started. And what Gates has figured out is just how his team plays best, the rotation with which they play best, which, I mean, the fallout of this is, let's be honest, we're not seeing Jacob Cruz play 30 minutes a night either.
But they don't really need him to.
No. I would say they definitively do not want to have him on the floor for 30 minutes.
By the way, Sam McDowell is with us here, championing the scheduling of Dennis Gates, is what I'm hearing here.
Yeah.
Liking that soft early non-con.
I'm scheduling what he's figured out now.
But Gates did say in his Zoom, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, about the way this season went. He says basically with all these new players and Stone and Pierce not being available, he says January is basically our December, and our February was our January. So that's why part of the Illinois game, part of the early stuff is because they just weren't cohesive at all and really ready to play. And he knew it was going to take a little while, but he thought that once they got into SEC play, that even though they had a soft non-con, that they'd be able to build that up enough in the SEC season.
Yeah, to me that sounds a little bit of an excuse for why you didn't play anybody in the non-con.
That's what he said. That's because he hasn't done that. That's the same stuff he's had for years.
Yeah, it's not like last year they were playing murder.
Right, that's what Gabe Yarman said. He goes, I'll buy that a little bit more when they actually do play someone in the non-con. That just seems like this year's excuse for not playing anyone in the non-con. But
the rest of it checks out.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of it is true. The fact that they have improved in this way that's coincided with having two pretty key players back for him, and then later it does figure out. Like I said, I think Mizzou's a kind of a prototypical team in this era, to where some teams it's going to take till January 31st before you really feel like it's clicking.
And it's kind of been stair step with them because they had Mitchell. Looking for a while, it was like all they have is him. Okay, they get Pearson Stone back. Okay, now that adds something. What do we do about point guard? Anthony Robinson's taking a step back. Teal Barrett. Now he inserts Teal Barrett. That makes that position better, and it makes Robinson a better player because he can just use him to do whatever he needs. And now you're seeing Phillips and Burns develop. So it's just they keep adding guys to the list of guys who you think can contribute on any given night.
Yeah, I agree.
Who did he know was hurt coming in, and when were they hurt?
So Pierce never played until January.
Right.
Stone opened the season
playing,
and
then got hurt. Okay. So there was only one guy that was already out, like to support his narrative. Like I think
Stone played like 1 or 2 games before he got hurt. He was
but I'm saying it with this, like the idea that I scheduled games based upon Winstone.
Yes,
that wasn't.
I see what you're saying.
That's where. Listen, it doesn't hold water. He likes playing a soft schedule. I think Leonard Hamilton construction rostered like Leonard Hamilton. I don't remember Florida State playing anybody tough early on. I mean, that he seems to have bought completely into his system, which is fine. I would like to see a couple of more good non-con games overall once you get the program up and running, which is what I told you early on. I didn't mind while he's getting his handprints on, but now though your team's always going to be a work in progress now. So there is everybody's doing that. So are you going to challenge them or not?
Yeah, I feel like they sort of lucked into the fact that it worked out this year because of their injuries. So then they don't have 7-8 losses in the non-con playing without Stone and Pierce, but to me that's luck of the timing more than anything. And what it does is, first of all, it limits your ceiling on your seed going into the tournament, because it absolutely should matter the fact that your non-con stunk. I mean, it's the only reason, which I don't think Auburn should still be part of the conversation, but it's the only reason they are, is because they beat a couple of teams.
Yeah.
And the non-con. That should matter. I mean, yes, how you're playing lately should absolutely have a lot of weight. How you've played in conference, how tough your conference is should absolutely matter, but so should your non-con. You can't get away with just playing nobody and then have a mediocre conference season and say, what about us?
And they didn't play nobody. They did play 2 good teams. They just got their ass handed to them.
Right, but I'm saying, though, there are teams that played nobody in their non-con. It's why, Miami of Ohio, if they had lost, I don't know if you guys actually watched that game live on Friday. It was a terrific game. But if they had lost that game on Friday and then lost in the conference tournament and say, hey, what about us? We only lost twice. It's like, well, you can't play nobody in your non-con. You do have control over that aspect, some control over that aspect of your schedule.
Well, Missouri's non-con on KenPom, their non-con rating, 341 out of 365. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Because the teams that they played, like if somebody had gotten hot, maybe that improves, but it hasn't.
One of the things that Gabe also said is that Missouri's going to have to give an extension to Dennis Gates. Do you agree with that? 3 years left on his deal.
I mean, Gabe covers this team on a day-to-day basis. at a deeper level than I do. They obviously have a great class coming in next year. I at least want to.
He's saying that from the standpoint that there are going to be a number of jobs open. There always are.
Yeah.
And he's going to be, if his agent puts the word on the street that I can be had.
Yeah. I don't know that I find him irreplaceable, but I could see where the decision could confront Missouri, but I also would really like to see him get to a Sweet 16 before I felt like, you had to lock him up for, an extra couple of years and give him a big raise because of it.
What do you think is going to happen?
I really think Mizzou could be a team that, look, we've got 2 weeks left. That could, of course, or a week plus the conference tournament that could change any of our minds. There's injuries, there's stuff that happen. Right now, they're playing like a team that I think could get to a second weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
Depending on matchups, and if that happens, then I think that conversation changes. But right now, I don't know that the postseason success is there to justify that.
Yeah, I don't think it's there to justify it. And I think from an analytics standpoint, you'd be like, no, we'll play it out. We're not positive you're going to get a gig, and if you do, then we think we can replace what you've given us so far. But
it can get worse.
It's not all up to one guy.
Yeah.
And there will be boosters that are going to be like, you did what you let. What are we doing? We have the number one class. We're going to lose the number one class. You can't let this go. I think the outside pressure. I think Gabe's right. I think the outside pressure will mandate that they extend it.
It's good timing for him to be at the table.
Yes.
Especially if they get to a second weekend and then you've got a top 5 class coming in. It's a really good time for him to say, hey, let's take a look at this.
I'll put something else on the table. They gave the football coach extension after extension after extension.
Yes.
Don't you think that's somewhat set a precedent?
Yeah. I think, when you have the same minds involved, it gives you a peek into their thought process, which is they value the consistency and not having turnover. And look, Mizzou football results, other than the Cotton Bowl win against an Ohio State team that rested a lot of guys, still won the game, but it's not like they've had.
Well, that's how I put it.
They haven't made the playoffs or something like that.
Eli Drinkwitz's first extension, I don't know why he got it. I'll be honest with you. His second extension was what I would call inspirationally given. It was he had a big 10-plus win season and beat Ohio State. The next one came after another 10-win season, so I could say that was inspired. Then this last one came out of fear of losing him to Florida. Like this year's season was not as good as the previous two, so they gave him one out of fear. The way I put it is, I think right now, if they gave him an extension, if they go out in the second round, that's an extension given on fear, which is always a little bit. The K-State extension to Jerome Tang was given on fear. First one, Elite Eight, inspiration. Second one, Arkansas's calling, fear. And it didn't age well, right? So I'm with you. I think a run to the Sweet 16 would be great to make it inspirational as far as to why you're giving it to them. It'll make it easier for everyone to feel like we're giving it to them because the arrow is pointing up.
Momentum, yeah.
We're going in the right direction. We're getting better. The next class is even better. It's all inspiration. But we'll see. He's got to do that in the tournament.
Yeah.
Sam McDowell is with us. We'll take a break. One more with the columnist from the Kansas City Star. He is brought to you by our friends at All Weather Decks. allweatherdecks.net, and relax. Sam McDowell is with us here in the program, columnist for the Kansas City Star. Brought to you by our friends at All Weather Decks. Go to allweatherdecks.net and relax. They can build your project. It's starting in about 6 or 7 weeks. What are you waiting on? Decks, patio, screen, and porches. Increase the usable square footage of your home. Increase the value of your home. They're only 6 or 7 weeks away from starting. Find them online at allweatherdecks.net. Sam, by the way, are you a fan of the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's better than watching spring training.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like just watching competitive baseball, yeah.
Should the Royals be afraid that Carlos Estevez is again rolling the ball to the plate?
I think that the Royals should fear anyone who's on another team in the World Baseball Classic. Like, it's definitely disruptive to your spring training regimen that is intended to be your preparation for the regular season. I mean, I also
is there a better time to do this?
I was thinking about that too.
Stop down the All-Star break for 2 weeks.
Yeah, like the NHL just had the Olympics, and
that's what I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think you could do it that way.
I think that would be better. Make it part of the All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
That year, get going a little bit early.
I will say the bummer about that in comparison to the NHL, NBA, is that the MLB All-Star game is kind of enjoyable. I mean, in an individual matchup as a pitcher, you are trying to get outs. As an individual matchup as a hitter, you are trying to get hits. And so there's more competitiveness to that game naturally because it doesn't require the same sort of injury risk of hitting somebody in an NHL All-Star game, or I don't know what's going on with the NBA game and why guys can't even jog down the court. But the MLB All-Star game's just always been, to me, the most entertaining one to watch.
The NBA was?
No, the MLB.
MLB was,
and so like taking that away would be a bummer. But like, I mean, the last World
you can
Baseball
still do
Classic,
it. Couldn't you just do the All-Star game and then bang right into the World Baseball Classic?
I mean,
you could even make it
have to be like the same site though, right?
Yeah.
Because like there's games in Tokyo, so you have to allow guys to travel and
you got to have a host country. They're playing games in Tokyo this year.
Yeah, I think the opener is tomorrow night in Tokyo.
No, it's in America.
I think there's some opening round games in Tokyo.
Oh no, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying stop doing that. It's like I believe the Olympics should be in America like every third one. Like we fund it. It's the American television contract that funds these things. So there should be some like Indianapolis holds the dome open every year in case there's some kind of terrorist threat or something that you can immediately go play the Final Four in Indianapolis. And the reward for that is every 5 or 6 years they get the Final Four, right? If we're going to fund the Olympics, we should get the Olympics like every 3 or 4 years. And we're clearly funding the World Baseball Classic, so we play it here in America. Well, come on over, boys.
Well, it's everywhere though, right? And then it converges.
But it shouldn't. It should just be
America.
Here.
Yeah,
we've got all the ballparks.
Well, the teams that play over there are the teams that are located over there. So it's actually it's
fine.
actually limiting travel for most.
Yeah, but the problem is that Shohei Ohtani has to go over there.
Yeah. I mean, Japan won it was Ohtani facing Trout with the game on the line 3 years ago was unbelievable TV.
Yeah.
Again, and the opposite choice is just to watch the spring training game. And that's why I think it's difficult for some of these guys. It's not just about the injury. It's about the fact that you're in that environment and then you're playing 1 of 162. I think that's a difficult thing with players to not get overhyped up the next time you're pitching in a spring training game. Like, how do you get your juices flowing in the same way? And I think that's something that the players have to work their way through. And that, when you ask about should the Royals be concerned about Estevez, it's like, yeah, I mean, when the player leaves your facility and therefore you relinquish control of his regimen, I think, of course, that becomes a lot more difficult.
I think they've had to relinquish a lot of control over the years.
Yeah, I mean, guys all have their individual off-season programs, for example, but there is frequent communication. And not to say you can't talk to these guys when they're there. You do, though, currently have your current roster with you that gets a lot of your focus as well.
Yeah. But that's it is. Like, I like the idea of the World Baseball Classic, but it's not like soccer. Like the aspect of pitching is so stressful on the body. Like soccer, I'm not saying it's stressful on the body as well, but not in a way that's foreign. Walking, running, that's part of life. Throwing something as hard as you can over and over again is not.
Well, I mean,
so like you can play all these, the World Cup in the downtime of the professional season, because it just requires the cardiovascular training. And soccer's kind of grown into a 12-month deal anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at how Seaboldt's handling the World Baseball Classic. He's only going to throw 5 innings against Great Britain, and then he's out.
55 pitches, he said.
I mean, you can't. Oh, it wasn't even 5 innings, 55 pitches. Okay, now we're in this transfer portal era. It's like you can't have a roster spot for this guy, can you? To get 55, it's like if you're going to get 55 pitches at him, can you give me one of the elimination games? Like, we could beat Great Britain.
Wait, he's doing 55 pitches total?
Yes.
And the whole thing?
Just one game. And it's also against Great Britain. I'd be like, dude.
And then that's it, and he's out?
Dude, we don't need you against Great Britain.
Well, hold on. Is this right?
He's leaving. Yeah.
Hey, look at him. He's just nodding like he's annoyed that I don't know this. 55 pitches.
I'm going to send you the tweet.
Okay. Well, that's why he's looking at his phone. I was like, he's just out. Like, you dumbass. I don't know. He's looking at you. 55 pitches, and he's done?
Yeah.
One outing. Not like 55, and then he'll go 55 again 5 days later.
I think he's only thrown one outing against, I think it's Great Britain.
Do they, in the second game of the WBC, and then return to Lakeland to rejoin the Tigers? That's a piece of work there, yeah.
Yeah.
So do they get to replace him on the roster?
I would assume so, but again, I would be like, bro, if you're just going to go against Great Britain, don't bother.
Okay.
What if he struggles? What if he throws a 30-pitch first inning or something? It's going to give you, 2 innings? Where is the Great Britain game?
It's in London.
No, I don't think so. The U.S. doesn't travel outside the U.S., do they?
It is in Houston.
Okay. Just a jump away from Lakeland. Just over a little body of water and ready to go.
Where, Kyle? You got the full schedule there. I'm pretty sure the opener is in Tokyo, right?
Not for Team USA.
No, I think the overall World Baseball Classic.
Well, yes, because it's like the next day there when it's here the day before.
Jeez, it's Australia is playing in Tokyo versus Chinese Taipei.
Very close. They're very close. It's in that,
Thursday
what do they call it? The Ring of Fire.
Thursday night. And then U.S. plays Brazil on Friday.
Well, what's amazing is there's all these countries, and we're going to be done in 14 days. And there's a travel from Asia to here, because the final's on the 17th, right?
I don't think there's a ton of countries, are there?
Well, I don't care how many there are. They're starting in Asia, and over 2 weeks going to finish here.
Did the Royals beat the whole country of Cuba today?
Yes.
The entire country.
The entire country.
Ball
Played
players
Cuba.
or not. They just every person in Cuba was there.
Yep.
They beat them all. Pretty impressive.
It's a lot of guys.
You knock off an entire country.
It is tomorrow, by the way. I'm seeing there's a Taiwan versus Australia. It's Taiwan versus Australia tomorrow night.
What time?
10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. here.
What does that make it there? The next day at 4 in the afternoon or something?
I'm not going to go there to watch it. I'd watch it here if I watched it.
I appreciate you clearing that up. I was a little fuzzy on that.
Do people here care what time it is in Tokyo?
I'm curious.
That's what I've always wondered when I flipped on the TV is what time is it in Tokyo?
Well, the game is there in Tokyo. That you would be curious.
I did the
math.
I did the math for people. It's on at 9 o'clock here. What if I just gave you the Tokyo time?
That'd be great. What time is it? Because that's what I asked for. What time are they doing this thing in Tokyo? Is it a big deal? Or are they doing it like noon?
Well, right now it's 8 a.m.
All right, so
in Tokyo, so
gonna be 8.
They're what +9?
7:15.
The GMT
plus
15.
9.
Yeah, but the GMT +9.
I don't. Stop with your codes. I don't know what these acronyms are. WAR, VORP, GMT.
So if it's almost 8.
No one's impressed.
If it's almost 8, that
start calling you Danny Jr.
Yeah, that puts them 15. That puts them 15 ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure they're scheduling games for your benefit. It only matters for the U.S. I'm sure they're scheduling the TV games to make sure they're on at a reasonable hour, not about scheduling in prime time in Tokyo.
As they should. We're paying for it.
So if it's 5, 9, so that would be that'd be noon there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, game's on at noon.
Right? It's 9 here. Yeah, noon. 15 hours is the answer I was looking for, Sam. You went a long way to just go 15.
19.
15 hours.
Be on at noon versus I forgot the teams. Australia plays somebody in Tokyo at noon.
Taiwan.
Just let everyone know it's at noon in Tokyo. They can figure out what time it's on here. Noon Thursday in Tokyo. Hope that helps.
If you get confused, just go to Tokyo and you'll know what time it is.
Yeah, we cleared some crap up.
You want to know if you can make it for the game? It's at noon in Tokyo on Thursday.
That's going to be a tough one. It'll be a tough one to get to.
It's going to be tough.
But, you know, hustle. Ticketsforless.com if you need tickets. I'm sure they can get you tickets. You know, send them right to your phone.
Seamless.
Digital ticketing
That
makes it
was
a lot
seamless.
easier. That was well done. Sam, great stuff as always. Appreciate it. Talk to you tonight on our Red Golden Bull
Yep,
podcast.
sounds great.
All right, there you go. Sam McDowell. We'll take a break. Need to know, and Gary Parrish still to come.
All right, in the last 50 years, how many running backs have won the national championship and a Heisman Trophy? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now as we finish strong here on a Tuesday. That means Gary Parrish is coming up shortly. We'll talk college basketball with our college basketball insider, Gary Parrish from CBS Sports. First, though, we give you the things that you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by our friends at Hen House. If you are looking for a wonderful lunch, might I recommend the award-winning Hen House Salad Bar. I was just over there the other day, picking up my prescription from the Hen House Pharmacy at 135th and Metcalf. Wonderful salad bar, always a great option, and always all kinds of great specials. The best tasting chicken breasts around. You can get them, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, just $2.99 a pound. You save $1.30 per pound. Raised in Ozark Mountain Country. That's right in our very own backyard. It's miles of freshness you'll taste every single time. Get your neighborhood Hen House. Find all the great specials at henhouse.com.
I'm there at least 3 times a week.
Yeah, more.
At least.
Yeah, at least 3. Yeah, that's probably a good number. I'll agree with that. All right, let's hear some Dennis Gates. The Missouri Tigers going into the game against Oklahoma. Still 3.5? Is that our number on that?
That's what I saw earlier.
3.5.
3.5, yeah.
Yep. Dennis Gates said it'll be a different game than it was the last time.
Their SEC opponent who's playing very good basketball, one of the hottest teams in their last 5 games. Obviously, you can look at the stats and see what's glaring. We have to continue to approach every game one by one. They're not the same team that we played a month ago. We're not the same team. Porter Moser does a great job. They have two great players with great experience, both Pack and Brown, lead guards, but also great players around those two, but primarily a 1-2 punch that is really dangerous and been behind several of their victories recently.
When you hear a coach say, well, it's not the same team we played last time, you needed 2 almost half-court buzzer beaters. You had 2 long buzzer beaters to survive the last time, so hopefully the effort's better.
Well, I think Missouri's better. The question is how much better is Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I mean, they're winning games, but I think they were in position to win games. I don't think that just because they've got some wins doesn't necessarily mean that they're better.
Yeah.
It just means that they're getting some wins.
Yeah. But I agree with you that the line being 3.5 concerns me.
It does. I mean, this is a Mizzou team that is gaining some momentum and getting some hype, and, now it's going to catch 3.5 to an OU team, but that's down and out.
Sounds like Vegas knows something.
That's what it sounds like to me, too.
Things.
That's what it sounds like to me, too. Dennis Gates was asked what the keys are for his team down the stretch.
It's great to see Ant Robinson turn the corner and show his toughness and resilience, which we knew he would. The other part of it is making sure that we remain healthy, from Mark Mitchell to Jaden Stone to T.O. to Trent Pierce. It seems like we have an 8-man rotation, but you never know when it comes down to foul trouble who's going to have to step up. Defensively, I think our team has grown, and we've been able to close out and seal some possessions, but we have to continue to rebound. We have to continue to fight through the physicality of this league. We have to continue to make some free throws, and I think that will continue to help us.
Yeah.
The free throw is a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that a lot early on.
Brutal earlier in the year.
And they have gotten to where they're, now
it's
a
not
strength.
a problem.
Yeah, I think it's a strength.
Yeah, I think it is too.
So, they've been a lot better on that. Trent Burns has given them great depth at the 5. Dennis Gates was asked what led to the emergence of Burns.
No one loves to sit, and that is the best remedy for development and earning time. So he didn't give up on himself. Staff didn't give up on him. Our staff is doing a great job of development. And for the most part, everybody's playing their part, man. And I'm happy for Trent Burns. I still think he has a jump to make, but it's definitely given us opportunity to have some length around the basket, especially when Sean's out.
Yeah. It's been nice because it's generally just been figure it out when Phillips has to come off the court.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
No. Now they stay strong in there the whole time, and they don't ever have to play small. We talked about that with Sam McDowell in the last hour. If you missed it, that's the 4 o'clock podcast at 810WHB.com and on the 810 app. And I do agree. And now they've got a legit big who presents problems, gives length, plays defense, all 40 minutes. They have played the whole 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I haven't I went back like 4 or 5 games. One of the two of them is always on the floor.
Yeah.
They're very Purdue-esque in having
sure.
a big man out there that creates problems.
And can score a little bit when you need to.
Yeah.
They had
the junior
20
sky hook.
Yeah, they had 23, I think, in their last game. So, yeah, the junior sky hook.
Gates, talking more about the big men, was asked how good it is, how nice it is to be able to get production from both the bigs.
Well, I think they do a great job. Two different players in their own right. One is very, very skilled and young. The other is very athletic, skilled, and defensive-minded. Both can change shots and alter shots, but the unselfishness that they play with, the cheering that they do with each other in regards to when one is out and the other is playing, and the in-game communication is important. So I just think the IQs that both these guys have is leading us in a way, especially on the defensive end as anchors, being able to execute the game plan both offensively and defensively. And it was great to see both maximize their opportunity in paint touches and paint defense.
Burns, the experienced one. He's a senior. Phillips. Burns is just a sophomore. This is actually his first year of actually being on the court in college basketball.
Yeah.
So you would think he would be the one who would take a little bit more development.
And then you wonder if does somebody go, oh, okay, we'll overpay him. That's the thing. You develop a guy who's playing good ball. And Missouri seems to have deep pockets. Has Missouri lost anyone they didn't want to lose?
There was somebody, and I can't remember who it was. There was someone.
I know they lost an edge in football, but
yeah, I'm thinking
they don't lose many.
Basketball,
they don't lose many.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they don't lose many. Had a poll question out there about the Jayhawks. Arizona claiming the Big 12 championship last night. By the way, I tweeted this last night. Who designed that turd of a trophy that they gave to Arizona? I said it looks like somebody's nephew took some leftover Legos and built a trophy. It looked like it was black and white plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen better trophies on a participation level.
For sure.
Official participation in the rec league basketball.
I was going to say the T-shirts they give out to adult softball teams
are better.
Yeah.
Are better.
Yeah.
Because usually there's something kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, 99-01, the last time that KU went 3 years without winning a conference championship. What's the biggest reason why? Gave 4 choices: new schools coming to the league, better head coaches, NIL, or the transfer portal. 40% say the NIL, which you would think Kansas spends pretty good, but I guess they're thinking, oh, Tech spends a bunch of money. 31% said the transfer portal. 20% said the new schools. Coaches, screw you, 9%. This ain't about coaches.
No.
It's not about coaches. You still got a little time to vote. We'll see if that changes over the long haul. But, yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. Jets dusted off their franchise tag. They put it on Breece Hall. He'll get $14.3 million, basically just screwing up the cost of running backs.
For sure. Thanks, Jets.
Kyler Murray is done with the Cardinals. After months of speculation about Murray's future with the team, Arizona has informed Murray that they will release him next Wednesday when the new league year begins. That's barring a trade, which I've never wanted to trade for a guy more than when I found out that he was going to be released. Same thing with Juwan Taylor.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. It's the exact same thing. Colts placed the transition tag on Daniel Jones. We found out that's the first time since
1996.
Jeff George, the last quarterback to get the transition tag. If Jones does not sign a competing offer sheet, he would earn a one-year guaranteed salary of $37.8 million. That's a $6 million savings. So $38 million back to the Colts. And veteran center Drew Dolman has informed the Bears that he is retiring from the NFL, only 27 years old, and just played 5 seasons. Spent the first 4 with the Falcons, was the Bears' marquee free agent signing a year ago when he signed a 3-year, $42 million contract with the Bears.
I think like $28 million was guaranteed.
I think if you're the Bears, you're like, is this because of the Indiana thing? I mean, that's not for a few years, man. Paris is next.